There it is. Oh, we're so set. Let me get this nice and big so you guys can see it. Yeah, now we're talking. So hold on, let me get some actual better tense music going. What's some extreme G? There we go. Oh, now we're cooking. This is the good stuff. Guys, my award for blue cheese eggnog? No. We're not giving away awards for the blue cheese eggnog. We're putting that thing away. Have you been liking Stellaris? I've been liking it so far. It's been a good time. How's Skyrim on there again? It's on every year. Every year, it just keeps showing up. They keep re-releasing it on, like, PlayStation Portable, microwave oven. You know, they just won't stop. It's eternal. Oh my goodness. Skyrim is our Last of Us? God. You're not wrong. You're not wrong, though. Every year it's in the Game of the Year. Todd Howard, you've done it again? Every damn time. It's at least in my games, but I'm going to rank it where it stands now, not where it stood when it released out. But we'll get there. We'll get there. Don't worry about it. You can run Skyrim on Twitch chat? God, I hope so. Has anyone ever done, like, Twitch plays Skyrim? You know, the way they did Twitch plays Pokemon? Would it be possible? Do you think it'd be possible? I sneezed a little and I'm pretty sure the molecules in front booted up my title screen by accident? What? How did you do that one? I think Doug did Twitch plays Skyrim. Yo, it does exist. Let's go. I'm kind of curious to see how that turned out. But anyway, so this is the entire collection of every game that I've played in 2024, from January 1st, 2024 until literally the very last stream I played. Is it in any order? I think it's in reverse order. So this is like the earliest game I played in 2024, and this is the most recent game I played in 2024. Yeah, I think that's about right. So we're gonna rank every single one of these. So we don't need fucking 5 categories, by the way. That's silly. This is the Game of the Deer category. And I will pick my favorite at the end of it. Down here we've got Dog Water. This is gonna be mid. And how about honorable mentions? There we go. There we go. I know a friend who's doing a date that wait, who's on a date with chat, if I remember correctly. Very silly. Going on a date with chat? Imagine. My goodness. Do you need a didn't play category? What are you talking about? These are all games that I played. These are like, that's how I got these from. I picked these up from Twitch Tracker, so it kept track of like literally everything that I played this year. That's all of it. That's all of it. Every single game. I didn't finish every single game, but I played all of them, at least for a little bit on stream. Yeah, and by the way, these are all games that I stream. This does not count the games I played in my free time, which is not many, to be honest. Not a lot of games that I played exclusively on my own recognizance. Would you explain why WoW was on that list? Because I played it on stream. You didn't see me? I did it. It's true. I played about 2% of those games. So I'll make sure that no matter where you put the game I played, I'll just say it's rigged. Yo, yeah, let me know which games you played. If I give any hot takes, I want to hear y'all get real indignant about it. Can I get rid of these little poop emojis at the top of my screen? There we go. Okay, that's better. Now I like it. Drip would never date chat, for instance. I've never taken Drip out to a lovely sushi lunch date. You blew it! Imagine a lovely sushi lunch date with yours truly. Oh my gosh, couldn't be me. So Kato, when are we going on sushi date again? Just wondering. Escape Simulator, Baltro, Skyrim, but who hasn't? Those are some good ones, though. Those are some good ones. Finch, hello, welcome on in. It's good to see you. You're just in time. I'm gonna start doing some hot takes, and this one's gonna be I think we're starting off a little controversial, actually. God of War, the new God of War, the 2017? What was the year that this game came out? I just got to playing it this year. It's not the Ragnarok, it's the one before that. Next time you come to Wisconsin, I'll take you to my sushi place. Let's go! Take me to Wisconsin, please. My goodness. Haven't taken Drip on a lovely buffet food date? Fucked up? Didn't even tip me? I could possibly make that happen. Yeah, it could happen. We've been on many fancy food dates, Bug. Specifically on a boat. 2018? The new-ish? Yeah, the new-ish God of War. Do you like my bears, by the way? Rate them. Say they're pretty. Say I have nice bears. Say, Drip, you have nice bappable bears. Yeah? Bug, please don't tell Drip I use the same pose for his and Boo's art. Me and Boo can hang out. It's fine. It's cool. Barely trying. Some nice big naturals. Thank you. I appreciate that. Oh my goodness. Pet your bears? Good. Do it. Okay. I'm gonna start with my hot takes. I'm gonna go in order. God of War. I kinda liked it. The story was kinda cool, but the pacing was a little bit too slow. The open world, I feel like it's not what I wanted from a God of War game. Because what happened is, it gave me the open world option. They're like, ooh, you can go to like any place on the map. You can go find all these cool little droppables and all these treasures and stuff like that. And I was like, but I just want to, this is smoothie. I just want to kind of progress to the next part of the story. And I ended up ignoring like the majority of the side quests in this game. Because I was like, I just want to see where the plot goes. And I feel like me personally, I usually love side quests. I usually love going around finding all the weird stuff. But this game, I don't know, man. It didn't quite resonate with me. I find myself wanting it to be over. And by the time I got to the end of this game, I was like, is it over yet? Is that the end of it? Is it done? It was a good game from a design standpoint, gameplay standpoint, but I don't think it resonated with me too much. And for that reason, I think it's going to go in mid. I think it's mid. I think that's where it's got to live right now. Now, Control, on the other hand, this is another one that came out, damn, probably like 2019, 2018, something like that. It's been out for a minute, but I only finally got around to playing it on stream this year. I love Control. I love everything about it. I love the... Sir, it's Christmas. Can you spare a bleat? No. Just kidding. Here's a few bleats. Just for you. Just for you. Instead of dog water, it should be no antlers. Bald. Bald dog water. Control, I absolutely love. Oh my gosh, what is it called? The Bureau of Control, is that what it's called? Department of Control Security? I forget what the name of the organization is. The FBC, Federal Bureau of Control? Is that right? Is that the one? Anyway, I love the vibes there. It's like a little bit humorous, but also a little bit weird and a little bit spooky and a little bit strange. It's got SCP vibes. It's like the perfect vibe for me. It's like Men in Black meets SCP. And it's so much fun. I love this game. Control is so much fun. It's fun to play. It's got enough difficulty that it feels good when you finally succeed. I do want to dock a few points, though, for the DLC, the Alan Wake DLC. It turned it into a scary game. And I don't like scary games. I'm a big wimp, and I can't handle scary games. Generally speaking, you're gonna find that as like a repeating theme throughout some of the games that we played this year. But that was just the DLC. If I'm just rating the base game, it's up there. It's not Game of the Deer territory, but it's up here. It's in the honorable mentions. It's like one tier below. It's the A+ zone. You should play the Enigma of Fear. That sounds scary. It's has fear right in the name. Although I am a sucker for a good art style, which Control has. It's got great okay, so I have such like deer brain, right? I have very low attention span when it comes to lore stuff, which is a miracle that I got through. It's a testament to these games that are heavy on text, like Hypnospace Outlaw. I'm gonna like bury the lead a little bit on that one, But if I get through a game and I really enjoy it and it has a lot of text in it, that means it's a really fucking good game. Okay? I don't usually tolerate a lot of reading in my games. I'm lazy like that. Control, the funny thing is, it's not even like the main story elements. It's not even like the plot crucial parts of the game that you're reading. You're just like reading little articles and stuff like that, right? That you find scattered throughout the entire game. I would still be reading them. The writing was that good. Oh my gosh. Control is fantastic. I love that game. I forget the name of this game. Can I open this image in another tab? Gatekeeper. That's right. So Gatekeeper is like a small indie game that tiny developer, really surprising level of polish. It was a roguelike top-down action shooter, I guess you could call it. Think like a little Vampire Survivors maybe, but not quite as many enemies and obviously way more polished graphics. But that was like the vibe. You're like picking up power-ups, you're getting stronger as you go, that sort of thing, right? Enigma of Fear. Hold on, I've got screenshots here. It does look pretty cool. It does have a neat art style. I'll give you that much. Yeah, look at these. This is pretty cool. But it looks scary. What if it scares me? I don't want to get scared by it. So, Pathfinder was... It surprised me. I got a free key from the developer, which is very kind of them. It was surprisingly well polished visually. The music was good. But the downside was, and to be fair, I played it when it was in very early access, okay? It might have gotten better since then. But when I played it, I was like, ooh, the first round, oh, love it. It's so much fun. The second round, I was like, okay, I've seen some of these power-ups before. By the time I hit my third or fourth run around, I was like, these are all the same power-ups that I've had before. There's nothing new here. Part of why I love roguelikes is because like every run is novel and different. This game, it felt like I was pretty much getting the same run over and over again with like slightly different, minor tweaks. So for that reason, I think I'm going to put it in the mid category, but I'm going to put it above God of War only because this was like a one-man team here and the level of polish was very impressive. Okay, Gnarly Hike. This is the one that scared me again. I got scared by this game. It was lots of jump scares. It was basically you're living in a like a little cabin in the woods and you kill a deer, which immediately puts it like on my bad list, and you're like haunted by the deer. It comes and like fights you as like some kind of wait. Am I thinking of the right game? Hold on, let me think here. Yeah, it must be. Gnarly Hike. Maybe I'm thinking of a different one. Maybe I'm thinking of a different game, actually. Gnarly Hike is the one where you start out in the dark and you go into a spooky, scary mansion type thing. Well, not mansion. It's like a cabin, but it's like weird. And there's like a weird basement underneath. This is another one that was like a small indie team, so I look, I don't like to punch down at like indie developers. I so much respect for them. This one, it was mostly jump scares. There were a lot of parts of the game that like didn't work. Like we had to stop the stream because one of the puzzles was just unsolvable. I really gotta dock a lot of points for that. So, first course, just being a genre I'm not super into, not a great start for it. And then the antithesis of Pathfinder over here, the level of polish on this one was just not there. It had very little soul to it, you know? It didn't have a lot of creativity going on. Even the spooky, scary monster wasn't even that nice. I hate to do it to like a small indie game, but I do have to put that one in the dog water category. It was not a good time. Now, Operation Tango. This was a fun one. This is like escape room. This is like the world's smallest image, by the way. It's like a thumbnail. This is like it's an escape room style game where you are playing asymmetric multiplayer. I'm trying to remember who I played this with. I don't think it was Dag. It might have been Brinth. I played it with one of our real internet animals, and we had an absolute blast with it. It was a really good time. So, like, the idea is one person plays as the hacker who's off-site, one person plays as the agent who's on-site, and you both are getting different information, different perspectives, different clues and whatnot. Chip, hello! And you have to work together to put that information together and solve, like, an escape room style puzzle, but it's all themed as, like, you know, espionage, spycraft stuff, right? So you're like defusing a bomb or identifying like a person of interest or something like that, right? It is super, super fun, and I had an absolute blast with it. I love escape room style games. Was it in the game of the... It's definitely up here in honorable mentions. I'm tempted to put it up in the game of the deer category. I'm tempted to put it up there. Oh, you know what? I'm putting it there. Haven't heard of that one? It's super good. It's it's forced multiplayer. You need to have exactly 2 players, otherwise the game doesn't really work. But I highly recommend it. Should there only be one game of the deer? I'm gonna pick my number 1 game, and we're gonna build its own category for it. But we're gonna leave them up here in the S tier for now. Multiplayer only? Yes, it's definitely a multiplayer only experience, and that's what kind of makes it so much fun, is how you have like asymmetric information and you have to communicate with one another. So that was an absolute blast. I love that one. Exit 8. I think, okay, I played this one with Bug and I played, was it Exit 8? I know we played Midnight Monitor Alder Court together. Did we play Exit 8 as well? I think we did. I think we did play Exit 8 together. So Exit 8 is a eerie spot the difference game based on a train station, I believe. And it was my first game in the spot the difference genre. You can tell that this is the first one we played of the year, and then after that became Midnight Monitor, Alder Court, Anomaly Watch, and then Midnight Monitor, Alder Court. And then we have, you know, down here we had the Cabin Factory. This is the game that started me on this entire genre. And the reason why I kept going back to that genre is because I had so much fun with it. It was a blast. It started with a whole bunch of them coming out. Yeah, I mean, Dag plays a lot of them too. He plays a lot of the... Oh, what's the name of that category? 55% top tier deer? Oh my goodness, thank you. It's, shoot, what's it called? I'm on observation duty, I think it's called? Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah, observation duty. Dag, there's like 8 of them, maybe 9, and Dag's played like every single one of them. He's quite good at it. Me, I'm not quite as good at spot the difference games because I have like poor memory and observation skills generally. But Exit 8 was like the perfect balance of difficulty and accessibility. The perfect combination of like eerie and not too unsettling. One of my favorite clips, actually that might have been Midnight Monitor. Anyway, Exit 8 was a blast for me. I really enjoyed Exit 8. I don't know if it's going to go in the Game of the Deer category, but it's definitely in the honorable mentions. If nothing else, because it got me into that game category, right? All right, let's see here. Cult of the Lamb. So this is not the first year that I played Cult of the Lamb. This was me coming back to it for the sex update. Let's not split hairs, okay? Right? Okay, it's the update that lets you, like, you know, have sex with your cultists. But I came back and noticed a lot more content that I hadn't seen on the first playthrough. Totally new tracks for, you know, upgrades. I guess you would call it like a new game plus mode where you keep your upgrades, but it starts you on like another pathway narratively through the bosses again. And you like recruit the bosses, I think. It was super cool. I really enjoyed my revisit to Cult of the Lamb. The music was just as good as ever. The aesthetics were wonderful. The Twitch integration is super fun. I had as much, if not more fun playing Cult of the Lamb again as I did the first time. Because I felt like even stronger and more capable. I think Cult of the Lamb, I think it goes up here in honorable mentions. I want to be a little bit stingy with my Game of the Deer category, but I think Cult of the Lamb is right on par with Control. The amount of fun I had on that one. Okay, Midnight Monitor Anomaly Watch. This is one that was also Spot the Difference game, but this one specifically was the bop around on the cameras type Spot the Difference game. Kind of like I'm on observation duty, right? Whereas the other one, you were like walking through, was a first-person game. You're like walking through an environment and stuff is happening in the environment. This one, you're just kind of like looking at camera images of a room, right? It was fun. I had a good time with it. I think Bug was with me on this one as well. I think he joined me on all of the Anomaly Watch type games. And we did have some fun times with it. But it was not as good as Exit 8. Exit 8 was... I feel like the walking through the environment and being able to like turn your head and look at stuff and examine it, it added a whole other element of like immersion to this type of game that I really enjoyed. So Midnight Monitor was fun in its own right, but I'm going to put it down here in the mid category because it cannot quite live up to Exit 8. Okay, Skyrim. Fucking Skyrim again. It just keeps coming back. It's never gonna leave. We're never gonna get rid of Skyrim, you guys. It's never gonna exit our minds. And you know what the worst part is? I'm about to do Skyrim dirty, okay? Everybody brace yourselves. Skyrim is so overglazed at this point. It's had its time. It's had its time in the spotlight. It's had its time in the sun. It was amazing when it came out. We all loved it. It was a shared experience. We all had a good time. Release the fucking sequel, okay? We're all over it. We've had enough Skyrim. I'm tired of re-releasing it for every damn console under the sun, okay? Now, that being said, I did play this game with Chippy, and we did a weird server-side co-op multiplayer Skyrim. We had to mod the crap out of it to make it playable again, okay? And we like role-played the entire time, which was kind of fun. Oh my gosh, yo, Bo, hello! My goodness! Macho Mr. Nacho, we love to see it. Oh my goodness, welcome on in! You're playing Fahrenheit Indigo Prophecy Remastered. My goodness. That sounds vaguely spooky scary. We had to save the child in the world? Oh my gosh. How did it go? Did you end up saving the child? Is the child okay now? Is it all right? David Cage masterpiece. My goodness. Macho, it's so good to see you. My goodness. Thank you for dropping by. Welcome on in, Raiders. It's good to have you guys. You guys are just in time. I'm over here dropping some hot takes, the spiciest hot takes that you'll ever see about every single game that I played in 2024. It's the Game of the Deer Awards. It's happening right now, and you guys get to see it. Oh my gosh. But buckle in, everybody. I hope you're having a lovely evening. We're just getting started. There's 50 games that I've played in 2024, and we're rating every single one of them. And you guys are going to watch me do something dirty to Skyrim right now. I'm ready for the hate. It's been way too many years. Skyrim is now dog water. It's gone stale. It's gone stale. It's been out of the package for like 7, 10? How many years has it been since Skyrim was released? I feel like it's been way too long. Hold on. Skyrim release date. When was Skyrim released? 2011. It's been 13 years since it was released. When it was released, when it first came out, it was Game of the Year. After 2 years, it was probably honorable mention. After 7 years, it was mid. After 14 years, I'm sorry, it's dog water. It's dog water now. I have to... Do you have any idea how many mods I need to install in that game just to make me feel something again in Skyrim? It just doesn't hit the same anymore. Skyrim is either dog water or bottom of mid. It's not... Okay, here's the thing. I keep going back to it. Even as we are talking, even as I am talking about how much I'm disrespecting Skyrim, deep down, I'm thinking, man, I could really go for, like, another Skyrim run. Like, maybe, like, put on one new mod and just kind of, like, hang out with it a little bit. I'm even still desiring it. But it... Look... It's too old. It's time to hang up the Skyrim, all right? It's time. We've all been there. It's been memed to death. It's time to go away. Drip, can I come up with sleigh bells on you and call you a reindeer for Krima? Yes. Only you though. Only you though, Macho. You can give Drip a carrot too? Ayo. Oh my goodness. Please? Every time I want to go for a new Skyrim run, I get bored after 30 minutes. That's a sign. That's a sign. It's gone stale. We all crave that feeling that we all had in 2011 when Skyrim came out. We all had a blast with it. We all want to chase that high, but it doesn't hit the same anymore. Skyrim is now dog water territory, and until they release the Skyrim until they release Elder Scrolls 6, I think it is, I'm gonna keep disrespecting Skyrim. I'm gonna fight the urge to not play Skyrim for a 18th time and instead play something new and fresh, right? Tay has never played an Elder Scrolls? Okay, if you've never played Skyrim and never interfaced with it before, you should play it once, right? It's still a good game, but after you've played it 18 times and it's been 14 years old, it's time to put it away, okay? all right, I'm done shitting on Skyrim now. How about Oh Dear? Oh Dear. This one was fun. So the reason why this game is fun, okay, so first of all, it is an asymmetric multiplayer game where one player plays as the hunter, kind of like Dead by Daylight? Is that the game? What's the game where it's like the serial killer monster guys running around trying to kill the other 4 survivors? Is that Dead by Daylight? Macho, you play that game, right? Dead by Daylight. Okay, cool, thank you. So, this is like Dead by Daylight where one person plays as the hunter, and there is an entire map full of deers, right? They're everywhere. The hunter has a limited number of arrows that like slowly replenish over time. And four of the deer on the map are players, right? The other deer on the map are just AI controlled, right? There's like little robot deers. They all look the same, but they don't always behave the same. So the hunter's job is to go around the map and figure out which one of the many deer on the map is acting a little bit too sus. Which ones look like they're being controlled by a player and which ones are just AI, right? Now, in order to get the players to actually move around and do stuff, they have to constantly be satisfying a hunger meter. So they're eating like mushrooms or whatever on the map. And the AI deer will not eat mushrooms. So you got to be kind of stealthy. You got to like blend in, pretend like you're one of the AI deer while the hunter's around. And then as soon as he's not looking, munch one of those mushrooms, which makes a sound. And the hunter will try and come get you because of that sound. And you can see how it goes, right? That's like the gameplay loop. The hunter wins if all the player deers are shot. The deers win if they outlast the hunter long enough for it to be nighttime, and then they turn into weird cryptids and fight the hunter. It's a really fun idea. And here's what we did to make it even more fun. I grabbed every single one of my deer friends that I could find. We played with Zenith, Zenny, Roland. I think Boo Boy was there too. Maybe Jay, because he was like an honorary deer then. No, it wasn't Jay. Anyway, we got a bunch of deers. We got a whole bunch of deers, and we all played together, and we took turns being the hunter. It was an absolute blast. We had a really good time with it. Kanik! Oh my gosh, Kanik, hello! Welcome on in! It's so good to see you! Boo and Biff. Yeah, that's what it was. Kanik, it's so good to see you. How the heck you doing? Biff is a false deer. Look, he gets some deer points at least. He gets a few deer points in the deer category. Kanik and Raiders, it's so good to see you. How was this war of mine? That one's like a top-down strategy-ish type game, right? This war of mine. Biff is so cool, so it's fine. Biff is amazing. We love a Biff. We also love a Kanik, by the way. Kanik, it's so good to see you. Thank you so much for the raid, and welcome in, Kanik Raiders. I hope you guys are having a lovely afternoon. Evening. It's evening. God, I've lost all track of time. I'm officially on vacation right now. I get my whole 2 days off from work, and I'm thrilled. So I've lost track of time already. Not so much top down. It's more like a center stage point of view survival game. You do love those survival games. Whenever I pop into your stream, you're always doing survival games. And you're way better at them than I am, by the way. But Kanik, thank you so much for coming on by. Everybody who raided in for both Kanik and Macho, just so you guys know, we're having the Game of the Deer Awards. That's me, I'm Deer, by the way. I'm ranking and rating and reviewing every single game that I played in 2024. So that you guys can see what my hot takes are. That's me, I'm Deer! You guys can see what my hot takes are about why Skyrim is dog water now that it's been out for 14 years. They need to release that sequel, please! If I start begging enough, they'll release it. Thank you. Oh my gosh. But anyway, thank you for coming in, everybody. I hope you're having a lovely night. Those hot takes are burning the house down. I won't stop. You drink that dog water? I will! That's the worst part. I will drink it. And I have drank it. I did experience it. And I already have the craving to go back for more dog water Skyrim. Oh, man. But anyway, so Oh Deer was the game I was talking about. That's the asymmetric deer hunting game. I think that I had more fun with this game because of the crowd I was playing with and less about the game itself, which was a little bit limiting. By the time we got to like round 5 or 6, like we had the strats down, right? We knew exactly what we were doing. We knew what the deer had to do in order to stay undetected. The hunter knew what they had to do to try and, win. All the tricks had been exhausted, and, it was kind of just on a loop at that point. But I still had a lot of fun with it. It's maybe not something that I would, go back to over and over again. But it was fun while it lasted. It's okay if it's like a one-time experience. Want sexier Argonians in the next game? Please. By the way, Drip stream notification sounds are going through? Drip Steam notifications are going through. What? What is that? Oh no. Is that Setsu? I think Setsu might have gotten compromised. Well, let's just close that real quick. Heard some bloops. Ooh, that's annoying. We are getting bloops. Okay, well, it should be gone now. It's just like, it's a spam message. It should be good way now. So anyway, Oh Deer, I think it's going to go in the low end of the honorable mentions. I had a lot of fun with it, but I think that was mostly because of a facilitation of the group of friends that I got to play with it. Which is not a bad thing in and of itself. It was a good time, but probably not something that I'll play again. Setsu again. Maybe. It might just be someone using the name, though. Anyway, how about Necrosmith? Necrosmith was a weird one. I forget how I got this game. I think I maybe got a key from the developer. And here's the thing. When I first opened it up... Okay. This game is pretty grotesque. Well, that's not even true. It's just like, it's cutesy gross, right? It's like cutesy zombies and cutesy flesh golems and stuff like that. It's this weird, uncanny crossroad somewhere in that Venn diagram of gross and whimsical, right? And I don't know if I really vibed with the aesthetic, but I did like the gameplay loop. I played it, I think, twice on stream, and I played it a lot off stream. I played it like at least several more times off stream. The idea is like it's like a strategy game mixed with, it's like a real-time strategy game, but you're managing undead that you are actively building, right? You like receive parts of creatures as you fight them, like a harpy wing or a zombie leg or a skeleton arm or an orc head, and you mush all of these parts together. Like there's, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 parts of a creature that you can find, and you mush them together in different combinations, and you end up with different synergies that you can like put together through these creatures. And discovering the synergies was pretty fun at the beginning, and then you realize there's like a billion synergies and there's no way you can reasonably discover all of them, and then you start looking them up, and that kind of ruins the gameplay loop and the discovery a little bit. And I think that's where I lost the game. That's where I lost it. It was very fun at the beginning. It was novel. It was interesting. It was a good loop, but it didn't hold up. It didn't hold my attention long enough, I don't think. It definitely wasn't dog water category, but I think it was more in the mid zone. It was fun for a while, and it's very cheap. This game, you can probably pick it up for like a few bucks, right? And it's worth that. But it's also not going to be like making you think about it overnight. Although I did have some like, do you guys ever have like a Tetris effect for games? Like when you're playing a lot of a certain type of game with a certain type of mechanic, and then you sleep or whatever, and then you're like seeing Tetris blocks in your dreams. That happens to me quite a lot with games, especially when it's like a very distinctive gameplay loop. That was happening with me with Necrosmith. So it was a weird one. Is this based on Steam review year? Yeah, it is. This is every single game I played in 2024, and I'm going through and ranking every single one of them. I've had that before, and geez, yeah, Necrosmith will do that to you. It depends on if that's what you want from your game, but it's possible. Now let's see here. Valheim. This is my first year ever playing Valheim, and it was with Chippy. Chippy and I played some Valheim together, and this is another one of those games where it's like I had more fun with the company than I did with the game, but the game itself facilitated that company. It was a good background game for just kind of like hanging out with a friend, right? There were like gameplay loops, you're like slowly building up your tech a la Minecraft. I don't know. It was okay. It didn't really vibe with me. I wasn't having like an absolute blast with this particular game. Maybe I didn't get to see enough of it, but we played it for like 4 hours. We gave it some good time. Oh my gosh, DJ, thank you.
Oh my god. 26 months, I can't believe it's been that long. So here to support the deer, and you keep being awesome this holiday season. So you keep being amazing. Also, did you hear about the explosion at the cheese factory?
Oh.
Debris was everywhere. DripTheDeer.
Debris? Oh my gosh, you're too much. DJ, thank you so much for the resub for 26 heckin' months. My goodness. Thank you so much for the support. I appreciate you. And I'm really sorry to hear about that debris. Very sad story. Let's see. So Valheim, I'm like, it was an okay experience. I don't think the game was something that I would ever willfully go back to, and it's not something that I would ever play by myself. So because of that, I'm tempted to put it at the very bottom of mid, just to save it from dog water, because I didn't hate the game, it just was doing nothing for me, right? I feel like I should have another category, like games that were okay, or games that I like that did nothing for me, versus games that I actively am antagonistic towards. No, it's okay. We're gonna stick with what we got here. I'm not rearranging the dang board anymore. Okay, Midnight Monitor Elder Court. So, oops. Don't do that. Don't save the page. Open image in new tab. Alder Court was another game similar to Exit 8 and Midnight Monitor. It's by the same people who made Midnight Monitor Anomaly Watch. But in Midnight Monitor Alder Court, instead of doing like the cameras that you're flipping between a la I'm on observation duty, instead you're walking through the station, the environment, just like in Exit 8. So that immediately brought it up to like the same level of enjoyment. This game has one of the most fun clips on my entire channel that I absolutely love. It jump scared me so bad, but in a way that was like fun. It didn't feel like, I don't know, it felt so earned. It felt so earned. I really enjoyed this game. I'm staring at my art for an hour after making it and going into mania. Don't. I've done that. It's not a healthy place to be. Just accept that your art is amazing and we love it, okay? Don't stare at it and go into mania. Alder Court was really fun. I think it was right up there with Exit 8. Maybe a little bit better because of the level of polish. Because Exit 8 was... They're very, very close. I would say nigh indistinguishable. I'm pretty sure some of my memories from the two of them are... Mania's the crazy happy one? Oh, well, in that case, yeah, keep doing that. Sometimes for me, Mania is like fixating on a certain detail and just like becoming unproductively, you know, attentive to it. In that case, yes, you've earned it because that art is so freaking cute. Did you guys see the cute art that that Coffee gave me? Hang on, I'll put it on screen again. Look at this boy! He's so freaking cute! I love him! I just want to smush his face. Oh my gosh, absolutely adorable. We love this deer. Best deer. Thank you for the boops! Okay, put the deer away. He's too cute. Firmly grasp him. Midnight Monitor and Exit 8 are right there next to each other. I sometimes cannot even distinguish the memories of the two. Content warning. Okay, this one actually came out this year. This one's relatively fresh, and it's still coming out with more updates. I think I played this game... I'm trying to remember who I played with. It was Breen, I think Dag, and I cannot for the life of me remember who our fourth was. Anyway, a lot of us played this game in a lot of different combinations, and do I need to play more games next year? I only played a total of 13. I got 50 this year, which I'm pretty excited about. I didn't think I had that many games, but like when I ran through and tallied them up, there was 50 of them. And I was like, ooh, hang on a minute, we got some more variety going on. Content warning is a fun concept. It's like you're playing as content creators going down into a weird, haunted, anomaly-filled subspace, filming content down there, and then coming back up to post it on YouTube, essentially. It's a very fun, like, loop. It's a very fun concept. It's very novel. Content warning was fun for as short-lived as it was. Very Lethal Company. Yep, very Lethal Company, very Phasmophobia. Well, maybe not so much Phasmo, but definitely Lethal Company. It's a Lethal Company-like. You're moving around different environments, but instead of finding trash and treasure, you're trying to find weird stuff to film. And I think that's the difference. You're trying to find the spooky, weird stuff because that's the prize down there. That's what you're there for. Whereas in Lethal Company, the stuff you're trying to find is like the treasure, and the scary stuff is like bad. In content warning, if you see a scary thing, you're like, Pog, let's go, I'm gonna film that and put it on the internet, which is it changes the timbre of the game so much, and I kind of like that about it. I played a fair amount of Lethal Company this year too, but it didn't end up on this list because I never played it on my channel. I always appeared on other people's channels. But I think that Lethal Company and Content Warning fill a similar space. I'm gonna put Lethal Content Warning at... I had like mid fun with it, I think, but I want to elevate it a little bit higher just because of how unique it is. It took a lot of it took a game that already existed, which is Lethal Company, and it changed it just enough so that it felt different, it felt new, but it felt a little bit familiar with the gameplay loop still. And I respect that. And they're still making more, development for it. It's in early access. So I'm going to put it at the bottom end of honorable mentions. Now, how about Buckshot Roulette? Oh, man. This one was weird. So it was kind of like, I feel like another tier between honorable mention and mid. Honorable mention and mid, you think? I mean, realistically, we probably could do with some more tiers in here. Yeah, okay. Let's build some more. Let's build another row above. We'll call this row is called Damn Good. Wow. Can I change the color of this? Can I change this to like green, orange? We'll make that orange, and we'll make this one like a shade below that. Yeah, okay, there we go. Okay, so this one, let's see. Cult of the Lamb and Control definitely go up here. Alder Court and Midnight Monitor up here. These two go down to the honorable mentions. Yeah, there we go. Between Mid and Dogwater is another category I'm considering implementing, but like we'll get there when we get there. For Buckshot Roulette, this was a fun one. It was relatively short. It didn't overstay its welcome. It was kind of like Inscription in that you're playing like a board/card game with somebody else, and the stakes are like weird and slightly scary. I don't need 5 tiers, that's too much. 20 minutes later, I could probably do with some more tiers. You're not wrong, but, I've been known to change my mind. I was not a huge fan of the aesthetic of Buckshot Roulette. It was kind of a little bit too grungy for me. But that being said, it was creative. It had a fun gameplay loop. I respect the aesthetic, even if it's not totally for me. Could probably go with some more deers. I could always go for some more deers, frankly. I'm trying to think where I would place this one. I played a little bit of the multiplayer, where you're like, they make it a round robin 4-player version, and you're playing not against an AI, but against players who like actually know what they're doing. That was kind of fun. I'm very bad at the game when I play with multiple people. I need 16% more tiers, please. I'm having a hard time deciding where it goes. It was one of those games where I think I only streamed it once, which means I completed all of the content that I wanted to complete. It's infinitely replayable, but I didn't feel the need to infinitely replay it. I think it goes above mid for the uniqueness and the fun that it kind of creates, but it's not quite in the damn good category. I think it's gonna lay nicely nestled down here in the honorable mentions. Yeah, I feel pretty confident about that. Okay, Balatro, Balatro, Baltro, whatever you guys want to call it. This game is phenomenal. It's really fucking good. If you've never played Balatro before, you should. You should absolutely play a little bit of Balatro just to see what it's all about. It is a roguelike deck building poker game where at the end of the day, I've seen hype for Balatro, but I haven't tried it yet. I can very safely and very highly recommend it. It is, at its core, you are making poker hands, right? 2-pair, flush, straight, royal flush, whatever you want to call it. You're making poker hands, but the intrigue of the game comes from the stakes and the jokers and the modifiers that you can put on your cards. So you are constantly changing your deck. So you start off with like a normal poker deck, 4 of each card. I mean, sometimes you like start with a weird deck, but you start with a generally generic deck and then you slowly change it. You might like add some more aces and remove a few threes. Now you suddenly have a more viable build for like 3 of a kind as opposed to a straight, for example. And there's like dozens and dozens and dozens of jokers that modify the rules of the game and how the hands are scored. It is really freaking good. Balatro was actually nominated for Game of the Year, which is wildly but heavily deserved. I know, right? And here's the thing. It's a small team. As far as I know, it's a relatively small team that made Balatro. It was... God, I'm trying to remember the name of the developer. Let me pull open my heckin' Steam real quick. Where? Balatro. This game is still installed on my computer, which is a testament to how good it is. It means I might feel like playing it again at any given time. Store page. Shush. It is by Local Thunk. That's right, Local Thunk. Local Thunk is the creator of Balatro, and they deserve all the praise for this lovely game. It's fantastic. The music is great. The graphics are great. The gameplay is satisfying. This is definitely in the Game of the Deer awards. It's higher than Operation Tango for sure. Balatro is like one of the perfect roguelike games of the year. It was so good. Okay. Escape first. I feel bad about this game. This is a game that I played with... This was one of my very few and very first collabs with the Miscreants, which is the other streaming group that I'm a part of. I played this with Roland and 2 others. I want to say maybe Seth? Forget who our fourth was. But we all played Escape first together because Roland had never done an escape room before. Or an escape room game before. And I was talking it up. I was like, ooh, you're gonna love it. It's like you gotta solve puzzles together in a 3D environment room. You gotta explore and find all the clues and interact with your environment. You guys, this game did like the worst job of exemplifying this genre of game for my good friend Roland, and I fear that he may never play an escape room game with me ever again. It was bad. I am fairly positive. I'm fairly positive that I did not receive a streamer copy of this game. I did not receive like a key for this game. This is the one with the math walls. Yes, this is the one with the math walls. You remember the math walls, right, Gingy? God, it was so awful. I can shit on this game as much as I want because like the developer or whatever was not like giving me keys, right? This game was bad. It was unpolished, it was uninspired, it didn't have anything fun going on, the puzzles didn't make sense. There were like 3 different escape rooms in the game, and all like each one was worse than the last. The music and the sound effects were grating, the puzzles barely worked, they weren't clever, they were just annoying. Every room was way too cramped for like the 4 people that we had in there, and it didn't feel like we were doing teamwork at all. It just felt like we were kind of like wandering around doing our own thing. This game was absolutely in the dog water category. It's the lowest of the dog water right now. Actually, hold on, let me bump Skyrim up a little bit. There we go. Escape First was absolutely terrible. Terrible example of an escape room. I'm so sorry. Now, on the other hand, I went back, I played this awful goddamn escape room game, and I was like, man, I really want to play a game that is not awful. I want to play an escape room game that's not awful. So I went back to Escape Simulator. And credit to Escape Simulator, every year they come out with like a free DLC and a paid DLC. Obviously, the paid one is like a whole arc of 5 unique rooms that are themed or whatever. And the free DLC is like a single room or maybe 2 that are similarly themed, but like maybe less polished. Not less polished, they're always polished. Less content, but still freebies. On top of that, Escape Simulator also has user-created escape rooms, and I played a few of those as well. Surprisingly well done. They curate collections of those rooms every month, and they're like, ooh, these are the best ones that were made during this month. This is the game that's like, this is like a good escape room simulating game, right? This is an actual solid one. I really enjoyed this one. Afro, hello, welcome on in. It's so good to see you. Bring those leggies on over here. This is the escape room game. It's definitely up there. It's definitely like, it is a escape room game of all time. I really enjoyed it. It never disappoints. Is it Game of the Deer territory? I don't think so, but it's definitely like up here in the damn good territory. And keep in mind, this is not the first time I played this game. I was not playing like the base game on this one. Ooh, deer fact, by the way. Did you know that if a deer senses aggression from other animals, they'll just stress yawn? I stress yawn a lot. Just putting it out there. Oh, what is this? No. My music. What are you doing? Shush. What are we gonna play for the rest of our Game of the Deer awards? Extreme G original soundtrack? What about Wave Race? You guys want to listen to the Wave Race soundtrack? I kind of dig a Wave Race soundtrack. One second. Wave Race 64 OST. I love a Wave Race. Oh, I love it. Beautiful. Okay, we're back. Would not be surprised by that deer fact. It's a true one, that's for sure. So, Escape Simulator we've got done. It's up there. It's up there in the damn good territory. I really love it. You're bringing them over. Thank you, Afro. I appreciate it. I need them in or around my area at all times. Dishwashing Simulator. This is a weird one. If you weren't there, you wouldn't know. There's so many simulator games. Power Washing Simulator, heckin' TCG Shop Simulator. There's a lot of sim games out there. This one's different. This one is kind of a horror game, kind of a puzzly game. It's got a little bit of Lethal Company, where you go down into like a procedurally generated space, liminal space, whether it's a grocery store or hotel or whatever it is, and you're looking around for loot, plates even, as well as like random items that will progress the plot of the game, and there is a plot to the game. And then at the end of the day, you go back up to your little room that you're trapped in, and you wash dishes. And as the game progresses, you can get like, you know, better sponge, better sink, better automation with conveyor belts and like automatic washing machines and dryers, and you earn money through doing that to buy upgrades that help you with like making your dishwashing better and making your exploring better. I feel like if it was either one of those games by itself, it wouldn't be great. But combining the two together, the weird like optimization satisfactory sim combined with the spooky Lethal Company liminal spaces hunting for items sim, together they made a really cool combo, and I was into it. And this is not my kind of game. I'm not usually into the scary game. It's 3 games in one. I mean, there's also like this spooky sort of a puzzly component too, so I guess you could say that's like the 3rd game. But yeah, it's a lot of different genres mashed together in a way that weirdly fits. I was very impressed with this game. I had a good time with it. I know a lot of my streamer friends also played it. I never saw the ending. I never quite got all the way through it. Yo, King, hello, welcome on in. Thank you for the follow. I never got to the end of this game. At the end is its own gameplay all on its own. It is? See, I wouldn't know that. I didn't get quite that far. Is it a boop? Ah! Oh my goodness. Thank you for the boops. I love those. Yeah, I don't know what the end game of Dishwashing Sim is, and I'm kind of curious. Maybe I'll look it up sometime. But it's not a kind of game that I feel compelled to go back and finish. Hold on, get some tiny itty bitty antlers, the world's smallest itty bitty antlers that you will ever see in your entire life. And they even got the branches on them, just like the old version. Ooh, you love to see a tiny itty bitty antler. Everybody grab your magnifying glass. Gumshoe, can you help him out? Dishwashing sim is fun. It was interesting. It was...
You're all the way bald.
I'm not bald. They're just small, okay? Not bald. Just a little tinier than usual. Sam doesn't see a difference. You're breaking my heart, Sam. Dishwashing sim, I think it goes up there with Buckshot Roulette. It's unique. It's different. It was entertaining while it lasted, and I left with a positive impression of it, even if I didn't finish the entire game. I had a good time with Dishwashing sim. I think it goes right up here in honorable mentions. Pools. Okay. I have a lot of opinions about Pools. Pools was a one stream Andy. We beat this game in one go on one stream. I think it maybe lasted like 5 hours. This game was gorgeous. Absolutely beautiful graphics. Amazing water effects. The vibes were impeccable. Pools is a walking simulator, right? Buckshot Down in honorable mentions. Look, it was really good. I enjoyed Buckshot Roulette a lot, but it got a little bit tired after a while. Honorable mentions is still very nice. It's up there. It's not mid. It's just not in the damn good category. I had a lot of good time with Buckshot. But Pools... So Pools is a walking simulator, right? All you do is walk. Maybe occasionally run. The idea is you are in the pool rooms. No MP review? What's MP? So you're in like a backrooms style liminal space that is weirdly exaggerated. Huge, like... Oh god, I can't even describe the settings. Give me 1 second. Let me see if I can find some images from the game. Pools, game, screenshots, images. Okay, yeah, this is good enough. So check this out. Stuff like this, right? It's, and again, let me see if I can get a little bit of a bigger, nope, that ain't it. Open image in a new tab. There we go. This is like bit crunched version. The game itself is like crystal clear, beautiful graphics. But like you're in just these weird settings. It's a pool with like a water slide and weird windows. Is that the Game Awards? With special music? Yeah. Embarrassing speeches? I'm embarrassed all the damn time. It's true. Let me find some other images of this game. How about this one? Open this image. That's just the heckin'... It's just a thumbnail, but you get the idea. The graphics in the game are phenomenal. The soundscape is amazing. There's no music. It's just walking sounds, water splashing, distant echoes. This game transported me to this space. It was truly amazing. And here's the best part. Most of these liminal space games, they absolutely cannot fucking help themselves. They're like, ooh, I gotta put a little monster in there. I gotta put a scary little monster to chase you around and jump scare you. No. This game, there's no monsters. There's no death condition. There's no way to die. It's just you and this space that is eerily threatening and eerily strange. It feels like something could pop out at you at any time. Occasionally you will get jump scared by like an unexpected inner tube. Fools knows it doesn't need a monster. The eeriness of the unknown is enough. Exactly. And so many games don't realize that. They feel the need to add in some external threat. Fools does it right. And this is one of those, like, I don't know if it's like self-congratulatory behavior, but I've actually gone back and looked at my VOD for Pools just to experience it again. It is a truly fantastic game. You can beat it in one sitting, and it's a wonderful experience. Cannot recommend it enough. It is definitely one of like my top games of the entire year. Is it better than Balatro? They're so close. Balatro has like infinite replayability, and that's where the fun comes from. Pools has no replayability, and that's where its beauty comes from. I don't know if I can choose between them right now. Maybe I'll come back to it later. Okay. Pools is like one of my absolute favorite games of the year. Absolutely adore it. Blueprints. Okay, it's time for me to gush again. I'm gonna gush again. 2 games back to back that were absolutely phenomenal. Blueprints is a puzzle game. It's a roguelike. It's a first-person exploration game where you are drafting a weird mansion with every room that you walk through. You're presented with like a number of cards to build the next room, kind of a la what's that board game? Murder at House on the Hill? I think that's what it's called. Is that a boop? Thank you for the boops. I appreciate them. Mimi, hello. Welcome on in. Betrayal on House on the Hill. That's the one I was thinking of. Not Murder. It was Betrayal on House on the Hill. Want to play that one more? It's a fun one. It's very good. That is kind of what Blueprints is like. Also, good pun, too. Blueprints, get it? Every room that you walk through, you don't know what's going to be through the room, but, like, you draft a new room from a small slate as you move through it. And each room can only, like, appear once in the mansion, like an actual mansion, right? Your goal is to, like, manage resources and findables as you're moving through the mansion to collect lore about what's going on with it, to unlock new room types that you can find deeper in the mansion to finally get to like an end room. And all the while, some of the rooms are just like, you know, a blank room, whatever. It might be just a room that looks neat and pretty, but has like a coin in it. Other rooms are more complex. They'll have overt puzzles to solve. And then some of the rooms will have hidden puzzles in them. Puzzles that you wouldn't need to solve in order to progress. And as Gumshoe said, I only played the demo. I was sent a key for this game by the developer. I only played the demo. I can only imagine how phenomenal this game is going to be when it finally hits its full release, and I am eagerly awaiting this thing to come out. It is like at the top of my wish list. I am watching it like a hawk, waiting for this thing to come out. Puzzles and puzzles that do nothing but make the puzzles harder? Yes, exactly! It's perfect though, we love it! Just the weird little things to explore, the weird wrinkles and developments. I will note that after I played it for several hours, because I was a little bit obsessed with it for a while, some of the puzzles were starting to get a little bit dry, like I'd seen all the variations the puzzles had, but I was in super early access. I can't wait until this thing comes out. It was super, super fun. Really love it. If you haven't played it yet, I highly recommend it, but also wait for the final release. I cannot wait to see what they do with this one. Is it in my Game of the Year category? I think so. It has all the little scratching that itch that Escape Simulator gave me, the weird like emergent lore that Control was giving, and the unique combination of mechanics of like roguelike drafting. It's so good. Think your ride makes a puzzle game? My brain would melt. Wait. Is that real? Do they actually make a puzzle game? That sounds amazing. Let's see. It's definitely up there. It's in my Game of the Year yet. What is this game? What am I looking at here? Oh, Fortnite. This is the first year I've ever played Fortnite. I picked it up this year. I finally downloaded it. I played it as a meme, as like part of my subathon goals. I was like, okay, I'll finally play Fortnite. And look, I can see why people like it now. I can see why it's fun, it's low stakes, It's pretty accessible in the zero build mode, and it's very fun with friends. I've since played... I played a fair amount more Fortnite off stream. I don't know if it's... I don't think it's going to become the kind of game that I will stream because I'm not good at it. But I do love it as kind of like a hanging out with friends sort of situation. And I did finally get the deer, the reindeer skin in the game, so I can finally be a deer. Hey, Ampsy, thank you so much for the reindeer skin. That makes the game so much more satisfying. But yeah, I get it. Fortnite is good. It's a fun game. Is it in the damn good category, or is it in the honorable mentions category? If I was better at Fortnite and I got wins more often, I think it'd be up here in the damn good category. But I think it's going to live down here. I think it's going to live down here at the top of honorable mentions. I can understand it now. I can see why people love it so much. Okay, oh boy. You guys, this was a really good year for games for me. This is a really good year for me enjoying games. Also, watch out for the villains. Outer Wilds. Here's the thing. I think all of you know about Outer Wilds. I think all of... Why am I frozen? There we go, okay. I think all of you know about Outer Wilds. I think all of you know how good of a game this is and how well regarded it is. It's been described as a masterpiece. It's been described as a touchstone of the genre. And I can't help but agree. This game is art. This game is art in video game format. In case there are some people out there, but have you played DLC? Not yet. Not yet. I might yet play it. I've been told it's like a little bit scarier than usual, but you know, I might still play it. I'm going to try and say as little about this game as possible, on the off chance that there are some very fortunate souls in my chat right now who have not yet played Outer Wilds. I put it off for the longest time. Because I was like, once upon a time, like when it was on Xbox Game Pass or whatever, I played the first, I'll say, tutorial section for maybe like an hour. And then I put it down because they didn't snag me right away. As soon as I got, I stopped right when I did my very first playthrough all by myself. I clearly stopped right before the hook. There is a hook that snags you in this game and does not let go until the very end. The gameplay is... how do I describe it without giving spoilers? It's a level and sense of exploration that I have not experienced in video games ever before. It is in a class of its own for exploration and learning. The aesthetic of the game is beautiful. It feels alive. And it gives you these aha, eureka moments that are just infinitely satisfying. I was literally in tears by the time the credits rolled. This game is like one of my favorite games of all time now, and I can see why it is so highly regarded. It's got to be in Game of the Deer. It's probably at the top of Game of the Deer. And again, I could say more, but I don't want to say more just in case there's someone out there who has not played it. If you have not yet played Outer Wilds, put this stream on lurk and go pick up a copy. It's probably on sale for the winter sale. It's a really phenomenal game. And hopefully I'll be able to play the DLC sometime soon. I'm bald. All right. You saw that? You saw that? You caught that one, Chip? All right, fair enough. If I had a better computer, I absolutely would have picked it up by now. I'm trying to think of some way that you could experience Outer Wilds without having a juiced up computer. This game is, I don't know, it's been out for a while. You might be able to run it. Put it this way, Gumshoe, I know you well enough that you would adore this game if you played it. In fact, if I could be a fly on the wall, a deer in the ventilation system while you are playing this, just like sitting co-pilot with you, that would be an amazing experience. It's very good. You would love it. Okay, I'm gonna move on before I gush too hard. I can only get so wet. Cryptmaster. This is a weird one. I have mixed feelings about this one. So Cryptmaster is a role-playing game with puzzle-solving, typing, combat mechanics. It is a truly bizarre mashup of genres. If you have a Switch, there's a Switch version. Oh, there you go. See? I'd be down to. I've seen snippets on stream. Just trying to X those memories out. Yeah, just X those memories out. Don't worry. Seeing any one snippet does not compare to the full experience. You'll still be able to enjoy the hell out of it. Cryptmaster was weird. It's a game that I played during the subathon, and I knew that I was getting fatigued by this game by the time we hit the end of it. It was very fun at the beginning when all of the mechanics were novel. You interact with the environment by just typing on the screen. You have a party full of adventurers who you use their abilities by typing out words like kick or sing or stuff like that. But you don't know what the words are. You figure them out by like clues throughout the game. So you discover your abilities as you play. You could type in any single word at any given time and just randomly discover something by chance, but it's highly unlikely because there's words like fjord or isthmus or salmon, weird stuff like that, right? But once you discover the word, it's put in context to the point for like why that word is important to the character, and it feels like a little bit of a payoff. The puzzles are like, there's lots of riddles, and you type in the answer. And overall, just a weird kind of spooky black and white aesthetic. I enjoyed this game for the first 1 or 2 times I played it, 1 or 2 sessions. By the time I hit my 3rd or 4th one, it was starting to get a little bit old. I was starting to... My enthusiasm was atrophying by the end of this game. I think it has a cool, novel concept, but it doesn't quite have enough to carry through all the way to the end. I'm going to put it down in honorable mentions at the bottom of this category. Because it was fun, it was interesting. It does warrant an honorable mention. But I probably would not have completed it all the way through. It was another one of those games where I was just like skipping the side content because I was like, whatever, kind of like with God of War. I was like, I just want it to be over with. Okay. Another Crab's Treasure. This is this year's newest game by Aggro Crab, which is a developer that I really love. They also did another game I really enjoyed called Going Under back in 2019, I want to say. I'll say it was 2018 or 2019. They did Going Under, which was a roguelike beat 'em up themed around working away at a sparkling water company in like corporate bureaucracy. It was very tongue-in-cheek, very humorous, very well written. Great game. Love Going Under. This is totally different. Another Crab's Treasure is not a roguelike beat 'em up. It is a narrative Souls-like game where you play as a hermit crab trying to get his shell back and that was taken away, and he's like forced into this grand adventure around like trash that's been falling into the ocean, and this overarching strange and kind of sinister force that's like going along with this trash. I can't really explain the plot too well, but it is a Souls-like game where you play as a crab. It is bright, it's colorful, it's beautiful to look at. The controls and gameplay are tight and fun. It's an accessible Souls-like game. I'm not good at video games. I'm not good at Souls-like games. I've never played a Dark Souls game. I played a few other Souls-likes. I played the Crow game. I played... I can't think of them all off the top of my head, but this was this year's Souls-like game, right? Accessible and Souls do not go hand in hand. You'd think, but this one makes it work. It's beautiful to look at. It's fun to play. The story is engaging. The characters are fun. The writing is funny. It's got a lot of environmental humor, but not in like a cheap way. This is like a wonderful follow-up to Aggro Crab's Going Under. Bramblers, hello! Welcome on in! Thank you for the biddies. I really enjoyed Under Crab's Treasure. It was hard. This game was very difficult. But I persevered. I didn't lower the difficulty, even though there were more accessibility options. And it felt very satisfying when I finally beat it. Another Crab's Treasure is definitely up here in Game of the Deer territory. I'm trying to decide where it goes. Above Blueprints, above Operation Tango, maybe right below Balatro. It was a very, very good game. I really enjoyed this one. Click holding. Click holding was a joke. Click holding was a joke game. All it is like this weird guy who wants you to click a stroke counter, like a golf clicker, 1,000 times, I think. No. 9,999 times. Basically, you max out the clicker. And he asks you to do weird things and tells you weird things about his life. Like, the whole narrative is like you've been paid money by this guy so he can sit in a chair and watch you click this thing. Pretty sure the weird guy was the one with the stroke counter? Hey, shut up. Yes, I was the one with the stroke counter the whole time. This game was unique, I guess. It was interesting, but it was not what I would call a fun game. It's basically just carpal tunnel the game and walk around the room every once in a while. It was kind of a joke. I played it. I finished it. Would I ever play it again? No. I hesitate to put it in the dog water category because it was at least kind of unique, but it's at the very bottom of mid. The ending really knocks a few points off for me personally. Yeah, the ending was... It was too much. I was not into it. You know what? I gotta stop pulling my punches, and I need to make more use of the dog water category. Click holding goes down in the dog water category. I'm sorry. It's below Skyrim, but above Gnarly Hike. It's a non-game. It's a weird game. I don't regret playing it, but it's not what you would call a good game. Don't pull your punches. I'm gonna stop pulling my punches. I gotta be a little bit more mean. Okay, let's go on to Manifold Garden. Manifold Garden was another weird one. Strange liminal-ish spaces. It's a puzzle game. Kind of like, not like The Witness. You don't learn from the environment. Well, you kind of learn from the environment. It's a good puzzle game. It's pretty to look at. It's a truly mesmerizing graphics. very colorful, very strange, like recursive environments where you're just basically falling forever. It's very disorienting too. And for somebody who has a very poor sense of direction, imagine like a cube, right? A cube in three-dimensional space, right? And you're standing on one of the faces of the cube. You basically shift the gravity and your perspective of the world depending on what face of the cube you're standing on, and you are free to change which face you're standing on at any given time. Just like walk to the next edge, and that's when the gravity shifts. It's a very strange and unique way of solving puzzles. And there were some very cool aha moments in there. I had a good time with the game, but by the end, the puzzles were getting a little bit too tedious. There were times when I was walking around these 6 different dimensions of the world and just getting confused and lost and turned around. That's probably a judgment on myself more so than anything else, because I have a poor sense of direction. But that definitely detracted from my enjoyment of the game. And this is my Game of the Deer award, so I get to judge it within my own lens. Manifold Garden, very pretty. Better than Cryptmaster. Better than Dishwashing Sim. Better than Buckshot, probably. Better than Content. Is it better than Oh Deer? I think that's where it stops. I think that's where it stops climbing. I think Oh Deer was more fun. Manifold Garden goes down here in honorable mentions. It's my awards. I can rig it however the heck I want to. Okay, Animal Well. This is going to make some people angry. Y'all might notice I never finished Animal Well. I played it for like 3 hours on stream. Gumshoe has not played Animal Well. Here's the thing. It's got a cool aesthetic. It's got cool puzzle-solving mechanics. It's got a little bit of platforming. At its core, it's kind of like a puzzly Metroidvania. And here's the thing with Metroidvanias. They require you to have an understanding of your surroundings, of where you've been and where you're going to go and where you're going to return to when you've unlocked the new stuff. Guess who in this room has a bad sense of direction? Go ahead, it's okay, you can guess. No, go ahead. If you guessed me, yeah, you're right. It's me. I'm really bad at Metroidvania games because of that reason. And I feel like my enjoyment of this game was dampened by that. This one's a tough one to judge. It's cool, but I only got to see like a few hours of it before I had to tap out. I think I'm gonna put it definitely above Cryptmaster, but under Dishwashing Simulator? Yeah, actually, I think that's the perfect spot for it. I think that's where it's going to land in the honorable mentions. For someone else, I can imagine this game being like in the damn good territory, maybe even Game of the Deer. But for me personally, my experience with the game, I think it's got to be in the honorable mentions. It's got more to it, and I didn't get to see it. You should show the tier list to everybody with no context. I will. I will gladly do that. I'll post it in the Discord afterwards. So that's where Animal Well's going to land for me. I have several friends, Theo, for example, who absolutely adore Animal Well, and for good reason. I kind of want to see someone else play this game, but not me. I want to watch someone else do a blind playthrough of Animal Well, and if anybody knows anybody who's planning on doing that, let me know. I would watch that stream. In the meantime, Paper Mario Thousand Year Door Remake. Generally, I'm kind of against remakes. Generally, I balk whenever Nintendo re-releases a game for like the umpteenth time. Paper Mario has a special place in my heart. The first one and the second one. After that, they started getting a little bit, I don't know, they started drifting off. Maybe I'll play this going pixel graphics? Oh, Animal Well? Yeah, absolutely. That one is, it runs pretty easy. Paper Mario is like one of my favorite games from growing up. It like introduced me to the RPG genre in like the most pleasant way possible. Thousand Year Door just built on that love that it developed from the first game. Paper Mario is like a feel-good game for me, and I was actually quite delighted when I heard that they were going to re-release it on Switch. So much so that I hope they remaster the first game, actually. I would re-buy the first game if they remastered it too. But Paper Mario Thousand Year Door is like a wonderful experience at its core, and I think that the remaster did it very good justice. The graphics are sharp and satisfying and beautiful. The music that they re-scored the entire game with was absolutely phenomenal. They did a wonderful job with the music. The gameplay was exactly the same. It was the same Paper Mario that I know and love. They added like a little bit of extra stuff here and there, a few little rewrites here and there. But for the most part, it was a very faithful remaster of the underlying game, and they did a really good job with it. I really enjoyed Paper Mario Thousand Year Door Remake. Where am I going to put it, though? Definitely in the damn good category. I'm thinking... Schmeezer, hello, welcome on in. Thank you for the follow. Probably above Cult of the Lamb. Probably above Escape Sim. I don't know if it quite beats Control, though. Did my music stop? I think it just stopped. Hold on, let's find some more music. How about top 50 songs in Super Paper Mario? Yeah, it's got some good music. Let's see what this one has. Ooh, I don't know if I'm gonna like this. I don't know if this is gonna be the right vibe. Hang on a minute. No. Give me Cobalt Core. Cobalt Core is pretty good. Take it back to the beginning. There we go. A little bit of Cobalt Core. I guess Cobalt Core was 2023 because it doesn't appear on this list. That game would be in the Game of the Deer. Anyway, moving on to Ember Ward. Ember Ward was a pretty fun one. It's a game that I think I might have stuck with and played more if there weren't more games that came out around this same time that snagged my interest. Ember Ward is a tower defense game where you build the level using these Tetranomino bricks, just kind of placing them and building a maze for the enemies to funnel through, while also building different types of towers and upgrades and skills and whatnot that are randomly generated. So it's like a roguelike tower defense game, but with the twist that you're building the maze with these Tetranominos. The graphics were fun. They were clean and colorful and pretty. The music, as I remember, was pretty good. The gameplay loop was very satisfying. And the mechanics were just deep enough that they were accessible while also providing the space for experimentation and like finding some of those broken combos, which is my favorite part of a roguelike game. So where am I going to put Ember Ward? I don't know if it makes it to the damn good category. It's definitely in or above honorable mentions. Probably. So here's the thing. That was my first experience with the game. Over time, it did start to run its course. Like any good roguelike needs to have replayability. That's part of the allure of a roguelike. It's got to be like endlessly replayable, like Binding of Isaac, Balatro, Hades, stuff like that, right? Dome Keeper. Ember Orb was starting to lose its replayability after 12-ish hours. How many hours do I have in Ember Ward? I have 10.2 hours in Ember Ward. That's around the 61% roguelike. Nice. Ember Ward starts to lose its momentum. It starts to lose its novelty around the 10-hour mark. Now, it's still in early access. Mage-like, imagine. I've chosen violence, by the way. I think that's a bit of a death knell for a roguelike, though. If you're losing your 93% deer-like, that's more like it. That seems like some proper deer percentages right there. Very rewatchable deer, hell yeah. I liked Ember Ward, I had a good time with it, but I keep telling myself I'm gonna go back to it, and I never do. So that puts it like right next to Animal Well, I guess. It's like I tell myself I'm gonna go back to it, but I don't. Whereas with Animal Well, I tell myself I'm admitting I'm never gonna go back to it, and I don't. I think that's where Ember Ward's gonna land. It's gonna land right above Animal Well. It was good, it was fun, and for all I know, they continue to update the game. I'm pretty sure I downloaded an update today. I haven't launched the game again to check out what's in the update, but they are changing it. Maybe I should open it back up and see what's new. But I haven't yet. So that's where it lands. Now, a little to the left. Yeah, this one comes with a fun story. So, a little to the left is like a cozy organizing game, right? I've seen a little left played on stream. I feel like I could still get the same experience picking it up myself. Yeah, I would agree. A little to the left is like, it's puzzly. There are some of the, I'm gonna use puzzles in big old air quotes here. Some of the puzzles are just organize the pencil case, organize the tools on the hooks in the garage, arrange these things in a satisfying pattern. Other puzzles are much more obscure, very nuanced and unique pattern recognition and creative thinking outside the box. But A Little to the Left is one of those games that does not push you too hard. It does not force you into anything you're not trying to get out of the game. If you want to take like the easier solution of the three, or just aren't feeling one of the puzzles, you can just skip over it. There's no penalty, there's no judgment, there's no forcing, there's no interface that's like telling you, ooh, you didn't solve that part, you should go back. It's a very casual, comfy game. By definition, a very cozy game. I remember that I was playing A Little to the Left during my subathon. Or at least very shortly thereafter. So, yeah, it was definitely during the subathon. I'm just looking at the flow of the games, and I'm like, yeah, that was in there. So, A Little to the Left was one of my detox games that I picked up for the subathon. It's the one that I turned on at like 11 o'clock at night, got a little bit, buzzy, let's say, and just vibed out. Organizing pencils, moving soup cans around, putting the stuff back where it's supposed to be. This was a very relaxing, cozy, satisfying, comfy game. It was exactly what I needed it to be, and I really, really enjoyed my experience. I bought both DLCs. It was a lovely experience, and I really enjoyed it. It's in the damn good category. Above Escape Sim. Maybe not above Paper Mario, but it's definitely up there. Very high up. I really enjoyed this one. Let's see. Hades 2. Okay, this one's tough because it's still in early access. I know a lot of people are waiting until the full game comes out. They're not even touching it. Me, I'm a huge fan of the first game, and I had to see what was going on with the Hades 2. I got in on the early playtest. I was there when they were still using like filler asset art for like half the trinkets in the game. And even then, it was so satisfying. This game lives up to its predecessor. It expands the game like thrice over in the amount of content that's available. And it brings to the table the perfect blend of the same gameplay loop that you like from the first game with just enough novelty to make it feel fresh. I think that... Oh my god, I'm blanking on the name of the developer. Bastion, Hades, Transistor... Help me out. What's the name of the developer? Hold on, I'm looking it up right now. Store page?
Made it this.
Supergiant, that's the one. Supergiant. Supergiant is notorious for making excellent games. Games that I just absolutely love. This is like the roguelike genre. This is the roguelike experience that I look for. And it's still in early access. They just recently, about a month or two ago, released the path that leads up to another branch of the game. I don't want to spoil anything for anybody. So I'm kind of eager to see where it goes, but I'm also fearful that I'm going to burn myself out by playing... How many hours? How many hours do I have in this game? Holy shit. 60 and a half hours? Brother, it's in early access. What are you doing? Christ almighty. Okay, I may have burned myself out on this game a little bit too early, but I love the aesthetic. I love the music. I love the voice acting. I love everything about this game. I think I need a detox from it, maybe like a year off, and then I'll come back and play the full release. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to wait for the full release of this game, and then I'm going to come back and actually play it. Because I think I've had my fill with the early access. Hades not yet out, and it's true. This is all early access that I've been playing. This deer can do hell. I can. I think this game goes in the Game of the Deer category, even in early access form. It's better than Blueprints, better than Operation Tango, better than Another Crap's Treasure. Was it better than Balatro? Ooh. That's tough. How many hours do I have in Balatro? Let's find out. I've got 37 hours in Balatro, so I've got almost double the amount of time in Hades. I think that's enough to bump it up past Balatro. That's where it's going to land for right now. Pools was an exemplary single-time experience. It's hard to put these two in the same category. That's where I'm going to put Hades 2 for right now. And I can't wait until the full release comes out. Now, Dome Keeper is not a new game from this year. It came out in, I want to say like 2021, maybe? Kato would know. Kato and I played the hell out of this game together. Kato and I had like an ongoing friendly feud for a while on the leaderboards, where we would like try and top each other on the leaderboard and figure out like who's got like the better chops for that game. Eventually he put up like an absolutely disgusting score that I would never be able to beat without dedicating endless hours of my time, because he's just better at the game than I am. But it was fun for a while. Yeah, Ziki, hello! Called the Outer Worlds Brainworm? Yo, not Outer Wilds, right? Outer Worlds. I confuse those two games way too much. Outer Worlds was very fun. Did you pick it up on sale? I saw that it was on sale today on the on Steam Winter Sale. It's a very fun game. So Dome Keeper is a game that is like a roguelike dome defense game in the combat phase, where you're like kind of, think like asteroids. You're like manning a turret on a dome or various other weapons, and you're shooting at enemies who are coming to attack the dome in like a panoramic type thing. And then in between the combat phases, you're digging down, kind of like SteamWorld Dig. Got it for free because of Amazon Prime. Hell yeah, let's go. It's like a SteamWorld Dig type game where you're digging down into the earth and mining resources. And you can use those resources to make you better at either component of the game, either make your dome better at fighting or make you better with exploring and digging and, you know, all that stuff. And you have to balance it on which things do you want to upgrade. Because if you neglect your offense, you're going to get overrun by enemies. If you neglect your econ, you're never going to be able to get enough resources to survive. So it's this beautiful balance that it plays. All the while, the graphics of the game are kind of pixely, but so stylized and satisfying. The monsters that you're fighting are basically just kind of weird-shaped blobs, and they themselves are just very unique. Lice, hello! Welcome on in! How the heck are you doing? How was, what were you playing today? You were playing... I'm gonna give you a shout real quick. Hold on a second. There it goes. What were you playing? Satisfactory! That's right, I knew it was a game that I wanted to watch, but I wasn't able to tune in, unfortunately. Lice, it's good to have you. Welcome on in. We're doing our Game of the Deer Awards, where I'm rating every single game that I played in 2024. And right now we're on Domekeeper. Domekeeper, again, this is not the first time I played Domekeeper. This was like a new DLC that they released. Or not even a DLC, just a content patch. Because it's in early access, obviously, like every other roguelike in the world. But they keep adding cool new stuff to it. I think it's up here near Cult of the Lamb. It's a roguelike that I revisited and had a lovely experience with, and probably will revisit again. I think it goes right above Cult of the Lamb as far as like my enjoyment of that game. Let me see how many hours I have in Domekeeper. I'm kind of curious. Because again, this is not the first year I've played it. Domekeeper. Where do I have it saved? Oh, it's still in my favorites. That's how you can tell I love it. I have 89.9 hours in Domekeeper. Holy crap. That's a lot of hours. For me. I don't usually latch on to games quite that fervently. How many hours do I have in Cult of the Lamb? That one's got 50.2. That's not bad. Pretty decent collection. So that's where I'm going to put Domekeeper. Right up there next to Cult of the Lamb. Baldur's Gate. Oh, Lice Roth. Cover your ears. Cover your ears, Lice. Baldur's Gate was a very good game. You, me, and Oh Dear When? Oh my gosh, that was it's a good game. I probably will play it again at some point. Baldur's Gate. I love D&D. I think Baldur's Gate was maybe not a good game for me to stream. I think Baldur's Gate, I would have enjoyed it more if I had played it off stream and had time to like absorb all of the lore and the nuance and the characters. But when I was on stream, I felt kind of this obligation to keep the ball going, right? Keep the ball rolling, keep the plot moving forward. And as a result, I ended up skipping a lot of the side content, a lot of the character side plots. I missed like half of the games because they were in like a cutscene for Kato, who I was doing the collab with. Even considering all of that, I still really enjoyed the game and had a good time with it. It scratched that D&D itch that I had. It was beautifully put together. The mechanics were gorgeous. There was a little bit of jank in there, but like it's Dungeons and Dragons. Like there's going to be a little bit of jank. Baldur's Gate was a very good game. Is it in Game of the Deer territory? I feel like it could have been if I had taken my time with it and savored it more. But my lived experience with it, I think, was closer to down here in the damn good category. maybe like I can't decide if it's going to be above or below Paper Mario. I'm going to put it above because this was a novel experience for me. Paper Mario was reliving an old experience. I think Baldur's Gate was it was new, it was exciting. It's a beautifully well done game. The story is fantastic. Many of my friends are absolutely like, it's got their claws in them. It's a good game. I could have enjoyed it more if I played it under different circumstances, I think. Okay. World of Warcraft. Oh, here we go again. Lysroth, close your eyes again. World of Warcraft, specifically the new content expansion. The Battle for Azeroth was the name of it. Where the factions kind of come together and save the world from like an underground threat. So I'm going to be reviewing World of Warcraft Battle for Azeroth based on my 3 months. War Within? What did I say? Battle for Azeroth? Yeah, sorry. BFA is like 3 expansions ago. Thank you, Blaze. I appreciate you. Sorry, this is actually War Within, which makes a lot more sense because you're like within the earth. You're underground and stuff. So my yeah, sorry, I got the wrong name. War Within, I'm kind of rating this on my experience for like just a few months. So this is not the raid content and the end game and the mythic plus and all that good stuff. This is just me exploring the main. Here's how I do World of Warcraft. I join back up every other expansion and I play the main plot. I play through the main plot, maybe a little bit of background or side quests. I get a character up to maximum level. I dip my little hoofies in a little bit of the end game content, like maybe a raid. And oh, check it out. I got the piss achievement. Hell yeah. I've been working on that one for a while. I kind of experience the core gameplay and then try not to get bogged down too much in the grind. In that sense, in my limited scope of playing this expansion pack, I had a good time. It was a beautiful place. The setting was really pretty. They let you fly early, which made it so much more enjoyable. The delves were unique. I can see the appeal. They weren't really for me. The dungeons were, some of them were a little bit frustrating to get the mechanics down, like that one where you got to go through the city and find the spies. Not a big fan of that one. But I had a fun time with this one. It was a good expansion for me to dip my hoofs in for like a brief period of time. I think it's going to go in the honorable mention category. Badger, hello. Welcome on in. It's good to see you again. I'm doing my Game of the Deer awards. I'm rating every single game that I played this year and deciding where it's going to rank. I think it's above Ember Ward, it's above Dishwashing, it's above Buckshot. Probably above Content Warning. Is it above Manifold Garden? Yeah, probably. And if it's above Manifold Garden, it's definitely above Oh Dear. See, here's the inflection point. I'm gonna put it underneath Fortnite because both of these games, very pretty aesthetic that they put together. But I will go back to Fortnite. I will play it again, and they're not charging me money to play it every month. Warcraft? I don't think I'm gonna go back this season. I'm gonna wait for 2 more expansion packs, and then I'll probably join up again and get my fix. I think that's where it's going to land. I had a lovely experience with it, but also I'm done. Hypnospace Outlaw. Ooh. Gonna break Lunar's heart. Hey, it's up there though. Lunar does the endgame content. I played some Warcraft with Lunar, and that contributed to my enjoyment of this expansion pack. Oh no, my throat's getting a little sore. Hold on, I gotta remember to hydrate. 1 second. This is going to determine whether BugOS talks to me again. True, true. Very true. Hypnospace Outlaw. So remember when I was talking about Control? When I was talking about Control, I was saying how usually in games I don't like to do a lot of reading. But in Control, all of the entries were interesting and engaging and well written and strange and intriguing, and I was reading them even though they weren't essential to the content of the game. That's kind of how I feel about Hypnospace. Hypnospace is almost entirely reading. Hypnospace is the exact kind of game that I dislike. It's just kind of a sandbox, and you read stuff. That type of game doesn't resonate with me. This particular game was phenomenal. I absolutely love the aesthetic. It took me back in time to the early internet. I got to experience Y2K in a virtual Hypnospace world. The level of picking apart and puzzle solving was engaging and intriguing. Deer hates Hypnospace Outlaw. Bug to comment at 11. Bug would destroy my entire body, and not in the fun way, if I said that I hate Hypnospace Outlaw. And I'm saying that I don't hate Hypnospace Outlaw, not only because Bug would destroy me, but because it's just not true. Hypnospace was a very wonderful experience. I still find myself singing Granny Cream's Hot Butter Ice Cream in the shower every once in a while. Hypnospace Outlaw lives rent-free in my brain, and it's kind of a magical thing. It was one. It's like Fools. It's one of those games that it's like Fools and Outer Wilds. It's a game that I can only experience once. And that one experience, I don't play a lot of experience once games. I'm more of a roguelike Andy. I like games that you replay infinitely and just keep getting better and different every time. But there are a few exceptions, and this is one of the exceptions. Hypnospace was beautifully put together. I had moments of like genuine fear, emotional, like tugging at my heartstrings, and a lot of laughs. Hypnospace was like the full package. It was a really, really great experience. It's definitely in the Game of the Deer territory. Singing Christmas Painting Christmas Town. God, that one's so good too. I want to buy the soundtrack for Hypnospace on vinyl. Is it better than Another Crab's Treasure? Yes. Was it better than Balatro? I think so. It's so hard to compare because Balatro and Hades are in that category of I could play these games forever. Hypnospace is I have played this game once and never need to play it again, but the experience will stick with me. I think they go past Hades and Balatro. Do they go past Fools? Fools is such a weird one because it's not like an iconic game that everyone knows is good. I just had a personally very powerful experience with it. I think Hypnospace still beats it though. That's where I got to stop though. I don't think it's going to surpass Outer Wilds experientially, but number 2 game of the entire year is pretty damn good. Outer Wilds was an absolute trip, and I cannot thank you enough, Bug, for walking me through that experience. It was amazing. I looked forward to it every week that we played it. Okay, I'm gonna stop gushing about Hypnospace and how good Granny Cream's Hot Butter Ice Cream is. Instead, I'm gonna talk about Minecraft. Because we did dig straight down this year. I didn't piss my pants today yet. I'll wait till after stream, out of courtesy to everybody. Minecraft is... So here's a little bit of like foretelling here. Minecraft is one of those games that is evergreen. It doesn't miss. It's like Fortnite. It's unlike Skyrim, which I don't know. It's way too stale. It doesn't hold up. It's the procedurally generated element of Minecraft that keeps it fresh. Are we rating Minecraft or Dig Straight Down event? I'm rating my... Wow, I got heckin' pylons twice in one stream. Impressive. I'm rating my experience of Minecraft this year. So my playing of Minecraft this year from that month of Dig Straight Down. What was our theme for this year of Dig Straight Down? It was lightly modded. Oh yeah, that's right. We did like build your own challenge. That's right. That was this was a fun Dig Straight Down. It was the perfect combination of like competitive and cooperative. Yours was phenomenal. Mine was one of the first to finish, and I feel like it was a respectable entry, but Stingray blew us all completely away. Stingray's was absolutely phenomenal. But anyway, Minecraft this year was a lovely experience. I feel like every year, I get an itch to go back to Minecraft. I start up a little private world or pop onto a friend's, server, or we'll do our Dig Straight Down event. Every year I look forward to it. It's not a game that I need to play every month, but it is a game that I have to play every year. And because of that, I think it's gotta be... it's either at the top of honorable mentions above Fortnite, or it might be cresting into the damn good territory. I think I'm gonna let it simmer. I'm gonna let it simmer right there in the honorable mention zone. I always go back to it. I will be playing it again. We're gonna be doing another Dig Straight Down next year. Fortnite? Bug. Put it back in the box. Put it back in the box, Bug. No, we're not doing Fortnite. I think that's where Minecraft's gonna land. It's lovely. I have a great time with it every year. We're good. Wizard of Legend. Now I want to be gentle, a little bit gentle here, because I was given a key to this game by the developer to test out the early access. And when I was testing out the early access, it definitely felt a little early access. I never played Wizard of Legend 1. Just to clarify, Wizard of Legend is a roguelite, top-down, spell-based, magic-based beat-em-up type game. I think that's probably the best way to describe it. Think like... It's like Hades, but infinitely less stylish and not nearly as fun. I said I was going to try and be nice. I'm going to try and be nice. I'm going to try some nice things about it. Wizard of Legend 1 had more of like a pixely art style, whereas Legend 2 was like a 3D style top-down type thing. I preferred the 2D stylized version. There was some good voice acting in here. There were some fun spell combos. The enemies were interesting. The gameplay loop was easy to understand. The bosses were challenging. It's a decent roguelite. But at the end of the day, it did not snag me. It didn't pull me in like I wanted it to. I think this one goes squarely in the mid category. I played it for all of, I don't know, probably like 3 hours, and I had a decent time with it. I don't think I'll pick it up again. I think I've experienced what I need to experience from Wizard of Legend 2, and it's gonna live here. Rune. Okay. Grune was my sleeper hit of 2024. If anybody here has not played Grune, cover your ears for like, I don't know, 2 minutes. Because it is a game that is best experienced going in completely blind. Grune is like a gardening simulator, but it's weird. It is puzzly, it is strange, a little bit eerie at times, with an aesthetic that is, I mean, you're looking at the graphics right here. It's a little bit pixelated, but the graphics are not what you would call beautiful, but they fit so well for what this game is. Grune has this sense of exploration and discovery, and I'm trying not to overglaze it too much. It has this discovery and sense of exploration very similar to Outer Wilds and Tunic and The Witness, right? Where you're not really told much, you're given like little nudges and clues and hints from the environment, and it's up to you to explore where to go with that. It is another time loop game in that you have a limited amount of time in the weekend, essentially, to solve the overarching mystery of this garden. And it hit in a way that was so immensely satisfying for me. I played it through and beat it in 2 streams, and I got nearly every achievement in the game. It's not a long game. I would say, like, let me take a look at my thing here. GRU Rune. We played it for a total of 6 hours, a little over 6 hours. But this game will stick with me. It was an absolute trip, and I really, really enjoyed it. Grune is definitely in my Game of the Deer. It's above Balatro and Hades. It's above Pools. It's tough whether it's going to be above Hypnospace. It's close. I think it just barely ekes out ahead because Grune is the type of gameplay that I enjoy more compared to Hypnospace. I think Grune and Outer Wilds living right next to each other is quite fitting for the tier list and for their respective experiences. I think that's where Grune's going to live. Yeah, I think that's about right. I'm slathering on the glaze a little bit heavy for this game, but only because it's a small game by an indie developer that hit so hard for me this year. I would very highly recommend anybody pick up Grune if you like exploration, puzzly, environmental games like Outer Wilds. This is a lovely little 6-hour experience that I think you'll really enjoy. All right, moving on. This is Parasocial. I'm going to put Parasocial and Closing Shift in the same category of games that Gunnar randomly gifted to me and said, hey, go play these games, Scaredy Deer. Now you got to do it. And I did. These are, man, how do I describe these games? They're horror games. Walking simulators, I would say. In Closing Shift, you are working as a young woman barista running a coffee shop, and a stalker essentially is stalking you on your place of employment, going home, that whole thing. Parasocial, you're playing as a Twitch streamer essentially, and a stalker is like cyber stalking you and then stalking you in real life. Both of these games were quite unsettling. The graphics and the gameplay and the pretty much everything about the game is fairly unpalatable, but it does evoke a genuine sense of unease, disturbance, discomfort. As far as games that can elicit a reaction, it does elicit a reaction. So I wouldn't say it was the worst game I played this year, but it's definitely in the dog water category. Because look, it's a style of game that I dislike, and it was also ugly. It was better than Escape First, which was just a horrible disappointment. It was better than Gnarly Hike because it was at least put together. It was better than Click Holding because it actually had gameplay. I'm not going to put it above Skyrim, though. Skyrim is still better. Okay, moving on. UFO 50. This was another surprisingly satisfying game for 2024. I think this is a game that like a lot of people know is good, though. This is not me making some hot take that this is a hidden gem or something like that. Everybody knows that UFO 50 is good. It is 50 unique games built in a retro style. I'm blind as to what this game is besides 50 games, and I'm going to try and keep it that way as much as I can, dumb shit. But there's not a whole lot of... I don't think there's anything to spoil about this game. That's the kind of neat thing about it. It's just good games. It's 50 very solid games. Now, here's the thing. Are you going to like all 50 of these games? No. Absolutely not. That'd be absurd. If somebody came in to my stream and said, I like every single one of the 50 games in UFO 50, I'd say bullshit. Did you actually play fucking the first game on there? What was that? What was that one called? Anyway, no one's gonna like all 50 of these games. It's just not possible. Are you going to find at least 5 games that you really enjoy and stick with you? Yes, you will. There is something for everyone in here. For me, House Party, Waldorf's Journey. What's the one near the end? Ooh, Night Manor. I'm trying to fill out my top 5. What's the one towards the end of the collection? The one that's like an idle game mixed with a Zelda-like. I forget what it's called, but it's like an idle / Zelda game. Those are all really great, and there are probably still half or more of these games that I've never even opened. I haven't even checked them out yet. It's the gift that keeps on giving.
Plushie guy told me to tell you that he is going to be lurking.
Oh my gosh.
But wants to say hi.
Hi, Plushie guy. And thank you, Drip Pup, for relaying the message. UFO 50 is just a good game. It's several good games all mushed together. They've got charm, they've got character, they've got style, and they are all unique. You will not find 2 games in here where you're like, oh, it's just the same game rehashed or reskinned, right? Everything here feels unique. You will find something you like. And I think there's something really beautiful about UFO 50 in that sense. It will bring people together. I really like UFO 50. I'm gonna put it. It's in the Game of the Deer category for sure. Better than Blueprints. Better than Operation Tango. Probably better than Another Crab's Treasure, if only for like the replayability. Is it better than Balatro and Hades though? I don't think so. I think that's where it's going to land. I think UFO 50 is going to land right there, and that's a really nice place for it. I hold it in very high regard. Let's see. Next up is Vampire Hunters. Okay, so this is, y'all know Vampire Survivors. Think of like that, but it is now a first-person shooter game. Same concept, in waves of infinite enemies coming at you. You're powering up your weapons over time by like stacking them higher and higher. You can basically hold 6 unique weapons and 4 different skills or whatever you want to call them. It's got the level of like overkill and, you know, redundancy that Vampire Survivors does. It's a very brain off game. It's one of those games where you don't want to think too hard about it and you just like go blasting for a while, right? It's fun. It's a good time. It's not especially memorable. There's probably Vampire Survivor. I would look, if you put Vampire Hunters or Vampire Survivors up against each other, Vampire Survivors would win like every time. It's just, I feel like it's better. Vampire Hunters takes that formula, and if you're feeling a little bit burnt out on Vampire Survivors like I was, and you want something that's similar vibes but a different flavor, Vampire Hunters. It's not going to be as good, but it satisfies a little bit of an itch. I would say it is in the mid category. Better than these guys. Probably better than Necrosmith. I don't think I would put it above God of War. God of War being in the mid category is probably going to rankle a lot of people, but like this is my experience. I am going to put it above Pathfinder though. In fact, I'll put Vampire Hunters above Pathfinder. All right, now we're getting to some very recent games. Actually, you guys probably remember these without thinking back too far. Fights in Tight Spaces, also it's my favorite song in Cobalt Core. Fights in Tight Spaces is a roguelike deck building grid-based combat game. Yeah, I think that's fair. I think that putting Animal Well and Crypt Master in the back end of honorable mentions is going to spark some people too. Is Crypt Master especially loved? I know that Animal Well is. Is Crypt Master especially loved though? I don't know. That's mostly a judgment on like my vibe with the game though. For Animal Well, I think Crypt Master is properly placed, generally speaking. Animal Well, this is going to be higher for other people. For me, I just don't vibe with Metroidvanias very well, which is why I'm so scared to play Bug? What's Bug? Hollow Knight. That's why I'm so scared to play Hollow Knight, because I know that game is amazing. But I'm also so... The Bug! I was going to say Bug Fables, but that's a different game. That's a Paper Mario-like. That's why I'm so scared to play Hollow Knight, because Hollow Knight is a game that I know is well regarded. I know it's beautiful. I know I want to like it. But I'm so scared that I'm going to get stuck in Metroidvania hell and get frustrated and lost and not enjoy the game. That's why I'm kind of waiting for a really good co-pilot to hang out with me while I'm playing that game. I don't know who it's going to be yet, but I hope I find one. Anyway, back to Fights in Tight Spaces. This is my wheelhouse. It's a roguelike deck builder. And it's got cool John Wick style, like one-on-one, hand-to-hand combat fighting in this bold, super hot style, right? It's stylish, it's fun, it's engaging, it's infinitely replayable. I have not put in a lot of hours in this game yet, but I can see myself putting in a lot of hours. It's hard for me to rank this one because I only have the one stream of content from it. I've only probably played it for a total of 3-4 hours. But what I've played so far has been really enjoyable. The trick is, things like Ember Ward, after about 8 hours of gameplay, it started to taper off. It started to lose its novelty. I don't know if Fights in Tight Spaces is going to do that, but it hasn't for me yet. I'm trying to decide if it goes in honorable mentions or if it makes it up to the damn good category. Would I say it was better than my experience with Warcraft? Probably. Short as it was. World of Warcraft is like hours and hours of content though. It's impressive in its ability to stay fresh or to stay engaging even after that many hours. I think it's going to live up here in the damn good category. Is it better than the Exit 8 and Midnight monitor? I don't think so. I think that's where it's going to stay. It's going to live right there in the damn good category. I had a lot of fun with it, and I hope to play it again. Risk of Rain 2. Now, I played this with... Who was I playing this with? I'll say it was Breen and Roland. And I think maybe Chippy? I think Dag was there. Maybe it was Dag? We got a group of us internet animals together, and we all played some Risk of Rain 2. Risk of Rain 2 is not a new game. It's been out for a few years now. But it is always a satisfying roguelike. Here's the thing. My enjoyment of roguelites is knowledge-based. I like being able to think about my combinations and build a run that is weird and powerful and satisfying. In Risk of Rain, I feel like I'm mostly just kind of running around picking up whatever the hell I can get my grubby little hooves on, right? I'm just like, ooh, there's a chest with a power-up in it. I'll take whatever it is. I'm desperate. I'm always desperate in this game. Do you end up with fun runs every once in a while? Yeah, absolutely. Do I feel like I get that little scratch on my brain where I feel like I'm responsible for creating that cool run? No, not really. It just feels like it kind of happens to me. And for that, I think Risk of Rain 2 kind of drops down in my roguelite categories. Now here's the thing. I've only ever played Risk of Rain 2 with friends. Friends who know what they're doing. They've played many hours of the game. So they're kind of like blazing through. Meanwhile, I'm just kind of like picking up scraps and trying to keep my head above water. If I were to put in more time and research and read every single item and actually get to know the stuff, I feel like I would get a much better sense of enjoyment out of Risk of Rain 2, because the depth is there. The combos are there. They're just inaccessible to me for right now. But I am rating my experience of these games, not the games themselves. So I think Risk of Rain 2 is probably going to go down in the mid category. I will always play it with friends, but mostly because I want to play a game with friends, not because I want to play this game. I think that's a fair assessment. Yeah, that's where I'm going to put you. Okay. Is this game trying to kill me? This one was fun. This one was fun as hell. Dag is the one who told me about this game. We were on the Disney cruise together. We were talking about different stuff that we were playing on our channels. And this is a game that he recommended to me personally. the way he described it was, it's like Inscription, but only the good parts, where you're like exploring, you know, the room and stuff. Which I took a little bit of issue with, because I also enjoyed the card-based part of Inscription, but I digress. The escape room style component of Inscription was one of my favorites. So I get it. This game is just that. It is, without giving too much away, there's basically a video game inside the video game that you can play and also explore the room in which the video game is housed, right? So you're kind of like exploring the house, but you're also occasionally sitting down to play a video game in that house. And the stuff that's going on in the video game is impacting things that are going on in the house, and vice versa. So it is very clever puzzle solving. Dale only likes to collect cards and not use them. That sounds very true. That sounds very accurate. It's very clever puzzle-based gameplay, where you are solving puzzles across two settings and mediums. It's weird and a little eerie. The puzzles are not that hard. There were a couple of head scratchers, but for the most part, I kind of had a good sense of where I was going through the game, which on the one hand, it kept the tempo going. It meant that, like, you know, it never felt slow in this game. But on the other hand, I didn't really feel a deep sense of satisfaction for solving a really tough puzzle. Puzzle games are so hard to do like that, at least for me. It's either too hard and I got frustrated and quit, kind of like, what was that game where it was like a pixely on a bridge? Oh, it was like Cherry Blossoms. Frick, I can't remember what it was called. See, that's how quickly I purged it out of my brain. There's a deer on your screen? Where? Doozer, hello, welcome in. I want to say it's Tenga, but that's like the name of a sex toy. What is it? I can't remember. Anyway, there's some puzzle games that it's like a little bit too hard and you get discouraged and you quit. It's not Tenga, Bug. It's definitely not that. It's something else. Hold on, I'll look in my collection of games so I can figure out which game I'm trying to think of. I think it starts with a T though. T. Thumper, Thronefall, Taiji is called. It's called Taiji is the name of the game. That game was very pretty. Tetris? Ooh, Tetris though. Another classic. Taiji was one of those games where it started off great and then the difficulty curve got too hard and I ended up quitting before I could beat the game. It was too hard. I got some nieces. Then there's games like this where... Is that Gunner? No, these are Breenland's rats. These are Breenland's rats. I'm just borrowing them for a minute. Is This Game Trying to Kill Me was a little bit too easy, I would say. It wasn't like... What's the word? It wasn't so easy that it felt like completely unsatisfying, but it could have been a little bit harder. I beat this game in one stream, all the way through, and I had a good time with it. It was fun, but it's not going to live on forever in my memory. Probably. It was good, and I liked the experience, but it's not in Game of the Deer territory. Is it damn good? I'm tempted. I think it's better than Fights in Tight Spaces. Probably better than the Midnight Monitor and Exit 8. I think I'm going to drop it below Cult of the Lamb, though. I think that's where I'm going to put the brakes on. Yeah, there we go. Ooh, it's time to make some furries mad at me. Atlas. I get it, okay? Look. furries. I'm with you here. I'm with you. Can you make a caked up red panda with thighs deeper than the Mariana's Trench? Yeah, sure. You can do that. You can make them caked up, cheeked up, bazongas out to here. But the pace of this game is...
Short stack game.
It's definitely a short stack game, for sure. And I can love all the characters, but the gameplay is... I don't know, man. It's a little lacking. It's now, to be fair, I have not played any of the multiplayer. I've only played this game solo. I played as the Rogue, and I played a little bit of Mystic. Unforgivable pace. Yeah. The first 10... Look, you need to get to level 10 before you even unlock any class abilities, right? Those first 10 levels are... I don't want to say it's agonizing, but it definitely was getting boring. By the time I hit level 10, I was getting ready to put the game down and never pick it up again. And then it was like, oh, by the way, you just unlocked your class. And I was like, okay, I guess I'll keep going and at least see what the class is. Why did you take so long to get here? And I could not answer that question. The pacing is so off in this game. It has that retro kind of graphics, kind of like Pseudo Regalia. It's got that charm to it, and I appreciate that. I like it. The game is fun to look at. I feel like there's just not enough fun gameplay in this game. And for me, as a gameplay centric player, that's kind of a big deal for me. I can forgive a lot of, like, you know, narrative or style or whatever if it's got really good gameplay. But if it doesn't have the good gameplay, it's not gonna rank very high for me, unfortunately. So I think Atlas is a little bit overglazed right now. I didn't dislike my experience with it. It was definitely better than Necrosmith. It was better than Pathfinder. It was better than Vampire Hunters. You know what? No, it wasn't better than Vampire Hunters. I think it lives right here. You heard it here first. DripTheDeer thinks Atlas is kind of mid. It's in the mid of mid. I don't think I'm going to pick this game up again unless, like, some good friends of mine want to get a multiplayer lobby going, and then I might just check it out to see what the multiplayer's like. There's things about this game that I do like the respawn mechanics, where, like, when you die, you're not really penalized. It just kind of puts you back at the beginning. But the gameplay was just not fun enough for me, unfortunately. Okay. And maybe the end game is different. I don't know. I only got up to, like, level 13 at most, so I don't know what the end game looks like, or even the mid game for that matter. Maybe it changes, but it didn't hook me in the early game, and I think that's the problem. Unrailed. Okay, so here I am entering with another roguelite game with only a few hours on record. So I'm making a judgment on this game based on a relatively low amount of time in the game. Can you rank Puzzmo crosswords? Honestly, Puzzmo crosswords have been kind of goated this year. I'm glad you finally shared those with me, because I've been enjoying them. I do them off stream too. They're so satisfying, and they're infinitely better than the New York Times crossword puzzles. Unrailed 2 is a roguelite railroad track building game that really shines when you have 3 to 4 players, because you are cooperating to collect resources, overcome obstacles, and build this track across, like, a landscape, right? It's got a lot of similar DNA to something like Overcooked, In fact, that's probably Overcooked or Play-Doh. Both cooking games, but similar concepts. Everybody has a role that is constantly changing. Everybody has a job they're doing that relies on other people, and you're kind of working together to fight this environment. I really enjoyed Unrailed 2. We had a blast playing it together. We played it with some of our internet animals. I played it with Dag and Breen and Chippy, I want to say. I forget who our fourth was. You did not see me vent. If you think you saw me vent, you did not see me vent. Anyway, I really like Unrailed. I really hope that my fellow players of Unrailed also really liked it, because I would love to play it again with them. I think Unrailed goes above Fights in Tight Spaces. I want to play it again, so that probably puts it like probably above Dome Keeper for right now. At least for right now. Maybe above Escape Simulator too, actually. I'm going to put Unrailed right up here in the damn good category, right in the middle. Alright, next game. Thank goodness you're here. This is a game we played like last week. We're getting into some very recent territory right now. Thank goodness you're here was another one of those games where it's not my style of game. It's not the type of game I usually go for. I don't usually go for walking simulators where you're just going around and listening to people talk. This was one of those rare exceptions. I was chuffed to bits by this game. I was laughing through the whole damn thing. This is a joke. This game is just like one beautifully crafted, ongoing joke. And they nailed it. They absolutely nailed it. Chuffed to bits is a good choice for this game. It's true, it's rubbing off on me. Man, Reggie's wife could learn a thing or two about this game, let me tell you. Sorry. It still gets me. It's the jokes are so good. Chip-a-low. Nice dumpies, by the way. So glad I sent you that last missed joke. Oh, the one with the fishmonger? Oh my god. I'm glad you sent me that too. I missed a really good visual gag. Thank goodness you're here is a lovely experience. It's one of those rare ones where it's like you play it once and you never play it again, which is antithetical to my love of roguelikes. But it's one of those games that I really, really enjoyed playing, and it's going to stick with me. I think it is... Is it in my Game of the Deer category? I think it lives right here, above Operation Tango, but below Another Crab's Treasure. Crab's Treasure gets the bump up because it's actually got real satisfying gameplay. But Thank Goodness You're Here is like impeccable writing, great humor, and it does not overstay its welcome. By the time we hit the closing credits, I was like, yeah, I've had everything that I need from this game. It's perfect. It's time for it to end, and I am satisfied. It's rare to get a game that does not overstay its welcome like that, but also doesn't leave you wanting. This was like perfectly paced, great writing, very fun experience. Really love that game. Cabin Factory. Oh, I have some feelings about Cabin Factory. You guys saw this one recently too. Cabin Factory was hyped up to me. Thank goodness you're queer. Oh my gosh, please. Cabin Factory was hyped up to me over the course of maybe a month and a half, 2 months. The developer reached out, like in a blast email to content creators, and was like, hey, I got this cool new game that's coming out where you inspect cabins that are meant for like a horror movie set, and you have to determine which ones are, you know, fake horror movie stuff and which ones are like actual paranormal activity. And I was like, oh my god, hell yes, please give it to me. And they said, not yet. This game actually comes out a month and a half from now, and you'll get your key, but not until its release day. And I was like, really? Usually they give out the keys like early so that you can, like, you know, show it early, hype people up, all that good stuff. You guys are gonna make me wait for it? So naturally, I had this game on my mind. I was thinking about it while I was playing things like, you know, Exit 8, Alder Court, stuff like that. I was looking forward to this game for a long time. I hyped it up in my own brain. Just waiting for a massive game like this. This is a small game. I mean, we completed it in 3 hours? No, not even. Maybe an hour and a half. It's a short game. But it was good. It surprised me in a lot of ways. It's a spot the difference game. You know, like I said, you're trying to decide which cabins are legitimately paranormal and which ones are just like, you know, from a horror movie set. But it had some legitimately good scares. Now, okay, I'll be fair, it doesn't take much to scare me. It doesn't take much to scare me. I'm very easily startled. I can easily be scared by games. You can turn it into 30-hour games with tons of content. I mean, possibly. But this is another one of those games where it did not overstay its welcome. This game wasn't trying to be a 30-hour game. This game came out at the beginning and said, "This is you will beat this game in about an hour." It is about a 1-hour experience. And for what it is in that sense, it does its job very, very well. I had a lovely time with Cabin Factory. I got my whole pants scared off of me. It was eerie, it was creepy, it had some legitimately good jump scares. I know Dag even got jump scared by this one, and that like takes a lot to get him. 1 extra point for the ending. That ending where we found, I don't want to spoil it too much, but like, you know, it's got some good underlying emergent plot for you to explore as well. Some lore going on. But at its core, it's got a good, fun gameplay loop of spot the difference and decide which one's real and which one's fake, right? I thought this game did its job very well. It was fun, it was engaging, it was scary, it was surprising, and it was fun. It's about everything I could want from a horror game. That being said, it was a little on the short side. I think it's going to go in the honorable mentions. It's above Buckshot, for sure. I don't know if it's above Content Warning. I think that's where it's going to live. It's going to live right in between Buckshot and Content Warning. And finally, Billionaire. Okay, well, this is a... Y'all saw me play this game last week for about 5 or 6 hours. I've kind of become a little bit, just a teensy bit obsessed with this game off stream. I have been continuing to play this game. How many hours do I have in there right now? 10 hours, which is not a lot of time in the grand scheme of things. But for me, for a game that I just got like a few days ago, that's a lot of time to be putting into this game. I've been having an absolute blast with this game. It's like a roguelite Peglin, where you're building the pachinko board and you're setting up combos and chain reactions where you hit one thing and that affects another thing and that affects another thing. It's basically a score chasing, you know? You're just trying to get a high score, where you're trying to meet certain score thresholds as you progress through the game, kind of like Battletro with the blinds. But there's something very satisfying about this game. Here's the thing. I'm at that magical point in a roguelike game where I'm about 10 hours in, and it starts hitting that point where it's like, are you going to continue being novel and interesting, or are you going to fall off? Gotta decide, pick a lane, right? Is it going to have that endlessly replayable content like Hades and Balatro? Or is it going to fall off and lose it like Emperor? Right? As of right now, if you know Luck Be a Landlord, yeah, same feel as Luck Be a Landlord, exactly. It's Luck Be a Landlord, but it's pachinko instead of a slot machine. But there is also a slot machine. I will be playing more of this game. I have not plumbed it for all that it has in there. There are still unlocks that I have in the machine where I can unlock new triggers to be putting on the board. I don't think I've seen all the combos yet. I haven't beat it on its highest difficulty, and these are all things that I feel I want to do. So I'm not tired with it yet after 10 hours. I probably will stream it again too. I'll probably continue to play it off stream as well. I don't think that a month or 2 months from now I'm still going to be playing it. But maybe, it's possible. Balatro certainly surprised me. That one stuck around for several months. I think Billionaire has really good potential, especially if the developers continue to release more stuff. And they continue to keep tweaking it, you know? So I'm going to say Billionaire is definitely the damn good category. It's better than Is This Game Trying to Kill Me? I think it's better than maybe Unrailed 2. Trip playing with balls off stream? I am. I'm also playing video games too. I think it's going to land right about here. It's going to land above Unrailed, but underneath my experiential games over here on the left side. I think that is going to be my final lock-in for my games of 2024. So that means our top 3 of the year were Outer Wilds, Grune, and Hypnospace. And honestly, I feel pretty good about those. Pools bringing up the 4th place, and then Hades and Balatro at 5 and 6. I feel like this is a pretty good slate. I feel pretty confident about this. I think this is a good representation of my experience of video games this year. We've had some really good games this year. This was I guess I liked the games this year so much that I wanted to do this stream where I kind of like rank and rate everything, right? I didn't really feel the need to do that in past years. This year I felt like doing it. So I think that is a testament to not only the volume of games that we tried out, but also the quality of some of our top ones here. Achievement for good taste? Hell yeah, let's go. Is Minecraft still simmering, or is that his place? By the way, I think that is where Minecraft is going to be. It's better than Fortnite because every year, invariably, I always feel the need to go back to Minecraft. And I have a good time every time I play it. But it is not the kind of game that I'm going to play every month, right? It's like a once per year, maybe twice per year experience. It holds up, but it doesn't hook me forever, right? I think that's where it's going to live for right now. Plus, it's fighting against the aging situation that Skyrim is, and that's why Skyrim's down here in dog water. You know, it's trying its best. Garf, hello, what's going on? Welcome in. Garf, get a good look at my Game of the Deer awards for 2024. We got some good ones here. But I love our top tier this year. I think we had some really fun experiences. I can't wait for Hades 2 to full release. I can't wait for Blueprints to full release. It's gonna be a good time. Yeah, we had 50 unique games that we streamed this year. I'm still dry. So many games. But this was an absolute blast. Good year for games, quality stuff. Hopefully 2025 is also good for games, because God knows we need something good to look forward to in 2025. Am I right, people? Impressed that 2 of the games in top tier are early access? Yeah, I think so. I mean, Hades is definitely early access still. and so is Blueprints. Blueprints I just had such a wonderful experience with. That's one of those games that I was like dreaming about. When I turned it off for the night, I was still thinking about that game. Stuff like that does not happen to me often. That's like Tunic and Witness level brain obsession that I had. My goodness. So I'm going to keep a very close and hopeful eye on Blueprints, because I cannot wait to see what they do with that finished version. And Hades 2, I know it's going to be good. I have no doubt the Supergiant is going to continue to be amazing. And I'm going to try and hold off on playing any more Hades 2 until we get the full release, because I've already got 60 hours in the early access, and I don't want to continue to burn out on it. Oh, boy. Well, I didn't think I could do it, but we have been talking for over 3.5 hours just about video games that I've played. I didn't think I'd have that many opinions, but apparently I did. And we're getting towards the end of the Cobalt Core soundtrack. So maybe that means it's the perfect time for us to send a raid out to one of our lovely peers, one of our lovely friends out there in Twitchlantis. You just got here, Hazel. No! Hazel's here for the butt end of the stream. My goodness, I'm sorry.